Chinese guy who does a Trump impression.
Oh yeah, the Chinese Trump impression.
Oh.
He's funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is excellent. This is a very good job.
Yeah, no, he's pretty good. Yeah.
I'd like to see a meeting of those two minds at some point.
My favorite was the Kim Jong-un impressionist who would hang out with him.
Oh yeah.
All right, everything should be okay. Everything should be updated and running and fantastic. All right, I don't really actually have that many stories for you guys for the tech related issues.
Oh, good.
It's just been a lot of fucking annoying printer issues.
Huh.
Oh.
As printers do, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Horrible, horrible things.
Yeah, the worst.
They smell fear.
Oh, so I do have one little bit of news. So I have a distiller, as we all know, and the distiller outputs into my, I thought was a 1-gallon container. See, I thought it was a gallon because what I was like, oh, well, that empties in 2 fills of my cup. So I want to store more water so I can run the filter a bunch, and then I can just drink water and not have to worry about timing when I'm drinking water with when I can refill the filler, right? And so I was like, oh, well, you know what I'll do? I'll just go buy one of those sports drums, right? You know, the Igloo sports drum?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh well, I'll get for like it's like $40, and I'll get a 3-gallon drum, and that should be like plenty of water between me drinking it, right, and needing to refilter it, and then like when it gets down to the halfway mark, I can fill it up again without having to be like, oh no, I can't drink water now because I have to wait 4 hours for the filtering to be done. So the 3-gallon drum gets here, and I thought my thing was a gallon. But right now I'm staring at the 2 gallons inside that I thought of the Igloo container that's supposedly 3 gallons. And I'm definitely only like 40% filled it. So someone's lying about how many gallons they are.
Oh. Wow.
Well, 1 gallon's
lying about
a
their
lot.
size.
1 gallon's a lot smaller than people realize.
Well,
Also
sure,
true.
but
Like,
But
the
I'm-
average person would look at a 5-gallon bucket and think that's 1 gallon because, for whatever reason, they don't make the connection of
I'm
the 1 gallon
aware,
jug of
but
milk.
I'm dumping a 1-gallon container into a 3-gallon container. You would think that 3 of those would equal
It's
one of the
1/3.
3-gallon containers, right? Except
No.
I've
would
dumped
think.
2 supposed gallons into this container, and I've only filled it up not even halfway. Well, like I said, I don't know if it's got like a different measurement system going on here, if American gallons are bigger than French gallons. Maybe it was made in Texas.
3-gallon jug, and not like a liter jug or some bullshit.
No, it's definitely 3 gallons.
Are you sure the thing?
Is it
the
that
filter.
bright yellow?
Oh, you know what? It is bright and yellow. Yes. You know what? It might actually be liters. You're right.
So wait, the jug itself, it's one of those, you know, you see them on a work site. It's the big orange or yellow Igloo screw on top.
Yeah.
It's got a spigot on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Wait,
Those are all a standard size.
What's the distiller you're using?
It's some distiller. I think I think you're right. Actually, I think the distiller might be 1.5 liters and not gallons.
Ooh,
That would
Well, that would
definitely
explain
go
why
under-
it was
yeah,
only
that would definitely go,
emptying
yeah.
like a couple cups.
Yeah,
That definitely
that's
would
like
explain
that's
that.
like I'm pretty sure that's like a quart and a half or something like that. Yeah, a quart and a half.
Liquids are weird.
That's starting. Yeah, that's starting to explain everything. It's all coming together.
No one lied. You just
Fucking
didn't
French
check your
gallons.
measurement.
You just didn't have the measurements.
I knew
Oh,
it.
is
French gallons are smaller. I knew it. Fucking
Is
useless
that what-
French.
They
Can't
are.
even have the
Is
same
that what
size
we're
gallons.
renaming? Is that what we're renaming liters to?
Yes.
Yes.
I will use everything but the metric system.
Literally measure in football fields as opposed to the metric system.
But Sneaky, what about the imperial metric system, where we randomly switch between feet, kilometers, meters, and centimeters?
Well, thankfully, we don't have to do that because we're not in a chemistry lab.
Oh,
Anyway,
I hate that.
let's spin the wheel. How is Tanya doing in both places, by the way?
Hang on.
Oh.
Seki
I finally...
Ray.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did.
It did.
No. Oh my god, I am so far behind on the stream. Let me just refresh that. By the way, I learned something about the record of Tanya the Evil I hadn't realized before.
Oh?
What's
Because
that?
I thought Yojo Senki was the shorthand of the novel's title. I didn't realize that was the novel's title.
No,
Yes.
the novel's title is Jojo Senki.
Whoever
it's a young girl's war
localized
story.
Yeah, whoever localized that needs to be kicked in the dick and fired and blacklisted from the industry.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
That is
Yep.
such
Thought
an
it would sell
absurdly
better.
that is such an absurdly bad faith localization.
Yep.
Yeah, they thought it would sell better. That's why they did that. And they are explicitly trying to paint Tanya as evil, as opposed
Yeah,
to
so as
she
the
actually
story
is.
goes, the light novel wasn't released in America. We got the manga first, and then the anime shortly after. And the manga had really great art, and everyone really liked how pretty everyone was, especially Tanya. And so the creator of the story was like, no, you're not supposed to like Tanya. She's rebellious and is independent and believes in telling her superiors that she's stupid.
As a
that they're
Westerner,
stupid.
that's a move.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
such a
she
fucking
shoots
move.
people and kills people and believes in ideas that are her own.
Most
Bro.
American.
I love
most
that.
American
It's like,
girl.
bro, why'd you write a war story then? This is a you problem, not a me problem.
Yeah.
But
not
yeah,
the one who
Bro,
decided to
I'm already
recreate World
sold.
War
You don't have
One.
to sell me harder.
yeah. So yeah. Anyway, she Americans really liked her, and the author was mad that Westerners liked a character that is all of the Western tropes.
Yes. Also, well, you know how people on the internet get about female characters, so that's why they changed her design and Visha's design for the anime.
Well, yeah, but it coincides with them changing the name for the anime of Tanya the Evil, because they're like, guys, hey, Tanya's bad. She does bad things. Stop liking her. Look, she's
evil.
ugly now. She's got duck lips. And everyone's like, yay, Tanya.
You made her even cuter. Thank you. Great.
Yeah.
Yay, small murder child.
Small murder
Yeah,
child, yes.
the author is kind of forever molding now.
I'm more annoyed at
Yeah.
the fact that they fucked Shugal out of a great design.
Yeah.
That's what I'm annoyed
Yeah,
at.
Shugal, both his light novel and his manga design are so much better than what he got in the anime.
He was
Anyway.
cruising on an artillery barrel in the manga. That was fucking amazing.
The manga was so
Same
over the
as,
top.
Zator, his
Yes.
design's also better.
Pretty
All
much
of them are
everyone's.
much.
Holy shit, his manga design is so cool. That is like
exactly.
Yeah.
Also, I'm looking at the other designs for Tanya, and wow, the anime is the worst one.
Yeah,
Yep.
listen,
Yeah.
I think
Visha.
Manya Shugal is the best Shugal manga, like far and away.
Yeah.
That's my favorite version of him. This slightly Albert Einstein-looking motherfucker with eyebrows that are that could qualify as antlers.
Yes. And then you get the different versions of Visha, where she goes from light novel version is this very wolfish looking girl. She looks very fit, tomboy, and she's gonna kill somebody, versus the cute version from the manga, which is still great, to a potato Visha from the anime.
Yeah,
Manga
listen,
looks a lot more refined and ladyish.
Patricia.
Yes.
I would say
yes.
light novel Visha is the best, but like for like how do I say this? Like adorable dorkness, anime Visha cannot be beat.
I don't like the potato face. I'm sorry. It just does not do it for me.
Mannerisms I will give, but I just like the manga look so much better across everything.
They got her voice actress, excuse me, and her mannerisms perfectly for the anime. It's just not the design.
Potato.
Yeah.
Crap, it's potato.
I've just learned about one of the primary antagonists, literally named Mary Sue.
Mary Sue.
Oh yes,
yes.
She.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The designs are so different between the three. Once again, the
yes.
No, not only Max. It gets worse. Not only are the designs different, where she gets her power-ups from are wildly different.
Yes.
Not just that, the story is wildly different in ways. This is why me and Sneaky keep saying there are 3 different canonical timelines.
Yeah. So yeah.
By the way, whoever's running the Ojo Slinky wiki, doing a great job. Whoever's running the Saga of Tanya the Evil wiki, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's actually terrible. Because they have difference between the 3 medias.
Yep.
Light novel, she's just really good at magic. The anime, Being X personally fashioned her as a tool. And then the manga, she got 3 wishes from God after going to the US.
Yeah, oh yeah, also she got like a bunch of little tiny buffs from a bunch of other gods that only exist in the manga.
No, they also exist in the light novel, but they're only mentioned as
I would say they do not pretend they exist. They are
well, no. So that's the thing. In the light,
once.
No, in the light novel, they're being X's helpers. In the manga, they are literally like the Native American gods and shit. Like they're not.
Oh,
right,
okay. Oh,
they're
you
not
mean Mary Sue?
Yeah, Mary Sue.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The manga
3 different
committed.
pantheons.
The manga committed to giving Being X a design, and he looks like every Old Testament Bible hero rolled into one somehow.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, the light novel gave Being.
It's just a fucking nutcracker.
Well, the anime gave him the nutcracker, yeah, but the light novel actually gave him a design, and it's basically Old Testament God, old white guy with robes and a beard.
Yeah, but they didn't make a picture of him in the light novel, so the manga's the only one.
No, there was a description though.
He looks like every Old Testament hero somehow rolled into one.
I feel like Max, did you ever have those Bible like the picture books?
Yes.
Yeah. Growing
I
up
was just gonna say that's what I feel like. Like he came straight out of that.
You could tell me that this dude is the stand-in for Moses Noah, Samson, David, or Goliath, and I believe you every time. You could change it every sentence, and I would still believe it.
Yep, makes sense.
He could be King Solomon, and again, I would believe you.
Mm-hmm.
That
Big Grand Order got really weird.
Yeah, it's
weird. Default Grand Order.
Yeah. So anyway, before we begin, we should all talk about Bluefish.
The Bluefish is back. All of you fucking weirdos can get off Suicide Watch.
True.
Like, look, is it cool she's coming back? Yes, but some of y'all need some fucking help.
Has she officially come out and done her promo
debut
release, whatever?
The only thing she did so far is she created the new channel, put out her background music up on as the only video, and then linked to her Twitter.
And then tweeted the fish on her Twitter.
Well,
Senzawa also put she's following both Gura and the fish.
Senzawa also updated her profile as #1 fan of Gura and Saba.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I confirmed that myself. It is legit.
Well, I just like people were like, "Is this Gura? Is this Gura?" And I was just like, guys, just listen to her voice in the little fucking video she put out. It's obviously Gura.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it was hard to make out because it was so.
No, Sign, you don't understand. As someone who's consumed hundreds of hours of Gura singing, it's Gura. It wasn't like the second, like when I say the second the vocals hit, I was like, oh, that's Gura. Yeah.
I mean, I recognize her voice, but I have not had hundreds of hours of Gura content, so.
You don't need hundreds of hours. She's got a pretty distinct singing voice, which is something that's rare to find nowadays.
It's really nice.
I mean, she's just got a pretty distinct voice.
Well, yeah, but her singing voice is very...
Oh, no question. I'm just saying, like...
Yeah.
And no auto-tune,
Also, can I just say, I appreciate the internet collectively going, we don't care about the unspoken rule. She's back.
She's back.
Yeah, it's... well, neither does she! Neither does she! Like, come on, you can't update your old profile with #1 fan of Gura and...
I know. But, like, every normal VTuber newsfeed is like, she's back! It's like, guys, we're just throwing pretense out the window this time, I see.
Personally,
I mean, like, deserved.
Personally... I'm not a huge fan of the whole cover up the past bullshit that Japan does.
I mean, here's the thing. There's a certain level of, like, how do you say this? Contractual obligation that I don't want her to run afoul of. Otherwise, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, it basically, but look, the contractual obligation, as we all saw between Callie and what Gura's doing right now, is effectively, just as long as she doesn't come out and say, I am blank, then no one fucking cares. Hololive doesn't give a shit. Like you cannot tell me that Hololive wouldn't have dinged her for #1 fan of Gura. Like
I said, as long as she doesn't do a contract thing, I don't care. Up to that, just be like, "Hi, I'm Gura. Fuck you."
Yeah, Doki Bird totally ripped off the idol culture veil. Yeah, I mean, look, the idol. How to put this? When you start, like, here's the thing: Western culture doesn't really have the life separation unless it's like a case of I'm trying to literally separate guys, respect me when I'm using this new name effectively, right? Because like we had Mogul Mail from Ludwig, but everyone still called him Ludwig. Asmongold switched to a Zach Rar channel. Even though Zach is literally his name, everyone still calls him Asmon.
Yeah, he's Asmon.
Yeah,
well,
the difference is that these are people who didn't go with the veil of anonymity.
That's
certainly. But I mean, I think
it doesn't really work.
Right, but I would say that the veil of anonymity only works so long as you make it a veil. And if you just start up a new channel and you're like, this is my name, and you just ignore everyone that says, oh, aren't you blank? That's one thing. But if you post on your old channel, Fish, I love Saba.
But here's the thing, right? Technically, she didn't post on her old channel. She posted on her oldest channel.
Yes.
Well, no, because in Gura's channel, she also posted a fish.
Like, she still got access to Gura's channel?
No, before she quit. She posted just a fish one time.
Before she quit. Oh, so she had that shit planned out, okay.
Yeah, no, she had Senzawa's bio be #1 fan of Gargura and be set like that for a year. Like she's been planning on starting as Saba for like over a year now.
Okay, so she had her exit strategy in place.
Yeah, she wanted to leave back in 2022.
Can't blame her.
But I mean, obviously, the #1 VTuber for HoloLive leaving during the peak of HoloLive doesn't look great.
That would look bad.
Yeah.
I just hope she got a nice fat bonus from those fuckers for it. I know she
did not.
But...
This is Japan.
Next to doubt.
Yeah, I know it's Japan. But hey, also, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens because I truly think that Gura being as big as she was shielding a lot of the others from the expectations and some of the bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was.
Yeah.
Honestly, with the most recent generation, the idol culture, at least for the EN crowd, is definitely finally starting to wane, which, thank fuck for that.
But, yeah, I will say, Justice is definitely a lot more unhinged than the previous generations. So that's nice, yeah. I don't see, the thing is like, I don't think idol culture was ever really going to make it too far in America.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, God, no, never. Because anyone who was aware of the VTuber scene in general, and further out the anime scene, we have seen idol culture. We've seen its actual darkest moments.
Yeah.
It
well, I mean, it's not just that, but reason. There's a big actor. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to say it. There's a big like actor culture here, where it's like, oh, you're not seeing the movie for Iron Man, you're seeing the movie for Robert Downey
Downey
Jr. Whatever. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
Well, it's not just. It's not so much the actor culture, it's how we treat our celebrities, which in general is they're not everyone's property, they're their own person. In the West, actors and celebrities, we cheer when they have a good, strong relationship, like they're getting married to their childhood sweetheart of 30 years. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If that happened in Japan and idol culture, shave your head and apologize. Like,
yeah.
How dare you have a relationship?
What? Like it's the difference in cultural values at their root.
I mean, like, hell, just look at fucking what's his face, Tom Cruise. Yeah, every woman's still swooning over Tom Cruise, and he's gone through like what, 9 wives?
He's gone through 9 wives and is a known Scientologist. How many fucking people have come out and been like, yeah, Tom Cruise was part of my insert horrible thing while I was part of Scientology, allegedly, before any fucking lawyers come after me. Right? How many people have published books saying that Tom Cruise allegedly did XYZ, and every woman is still like, but he's hot.
But he's hot though. Yeah.
But I mean, that's just
I'm going around with that.
Right, but that's just kind of my point, though, right? It's like, so between that and the fact that it's like, no one really cares who the director is, unlike in Japan, where it's all about the producer, right? And it's like, oh, it's this producer, so therefore the actor is good. People in America are like, oh, it's this actor, therefore the movie is going to be good.
Yeah. Going to see the director as opposed to the actor is extremely rare. Like, oh, this is a James Cameron film. A lot of people are going to go see that because his name attached, because he's going to bring in really good actors.
Same for
he's got
old
Steven Spielberg,
Peter Jackson.
But, like, again, those were the exception to the general rule of I'm going to see the actor, not because this director's name attached.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's definitely a different culture here. Doki did a great job of just telling Japan to go fuck itself.
Yes, one does.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call my fans the Dragoons still. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a model with the same haircut. Yeah, I'm just gonna use my old song. Fuck you.
I mean,
yeah, they can kiss my ass.
I think by all rights, she owned the song to it, the rights to it. So
yeah, she did. She produced it. Yeah.
So it might have. It wasn't produced with company funds. It was produced
I also did learn something really fucking stupid and racist from Japan again. All of Halloween.
That's
not
hard.
I know. All of Halloween is listed as Japanese accounts.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. If anyone's not aware of why it's important, basically, the distribution of your videos and who you're recommended to is heavily based on your origin. Someone making a U.S. account, and they tested this. One guy tested this, where he made a U.S. account and he made a Norwegian account, and he posted the exact same videos. His U.S. account blew his Norwegian account out of the water in terms of views.
That's how PewDiePie got so large. He talked about this, that he decided to set his account to the U.S. region. And that's part of why he blew up so hard, on top of being genuinely funny with a very niche game. People are like, wait, hang on, this game is cooking something.
Yeah, and so, I mean, they were actively hobbled by Japan's racism in more ways than one now. But yeah, because of Japan's insistence on the VTubers being Japanese instead of the country they're from, or even, America, so they get the English crowd, they marked them as Japanese, so they didn't get recommended to English fans.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah, which I think is a large part of the reason why, let's say you go incognito mode to have no cookies, start doing a binge of random VTuber content through YouTube, you don't start getting actual HoloLive channels.
Yeah.
Unless
you get all the clippers.
You have to go out of your way to do nothing but HoloLive clips before it finally realizes, I'll recommend you these accounts that are based in Japan. Whereas if I look at clips of any other VTuber, I will start getting their actual channels and VODs recommended in the sidebar with almost no effort in comparison.
Yep. It's crazy. It is insane. It is absolutely ludicrous how hard they hobbled their own talent out of sheer racism. It's I will let you try, but I'm gonna shoot both of my feet first.
I don't know if it's racism. I'd like us to not commit to that particular absolute.
It's racism.
No.
Explain to me the difference between pride and not allowing the account to be the country they're going to be pandering towards.
Okay.
The only thing I can think of is there's a legal tax reason.
They're working in.
No, that has nothing to do with it.
They're working at my company based in my country. That's a pretty solid reason for the average person.
Yeah, sure, but they're English.
As Max said, plus, if you're working with us, you're with us, you have to do as we do in lockstep with us, and that means you have to first be for the Japanese audience, even though you're English.
Right, no, but the whole point of the English branch was to pander to the English branch. Like the Indonesian branch doesn't pander to the Japanese branch. They pander to the Indonesian.
Yeah.
It is solely the American branch that has to pander to the Japanese branch first.
Oh. Well, okay. Yeah, that's looking more and more like Japan might have a...
Yeah, Sneaky's not actually exaggerating with it. I don't know about the Indonesian stuff, but like Ian's marketing is still heavily based in Japan. Japan gets more Ian merch than we do.
Yeah.
Why?
Which is so weird.
This is not an exaggeration.
Yep.
They have consistently gotten more merch than the Western audience for the English brand.
My favorite part was back when Cali made good songs. They only had a limited run for America, and they didn't have. They had. This is the best part. So back when she made English songs and they were good, and she was selling them, not only was the amount distributed to America like half the size that was being sold in Japan, but the English side didn't get the limited run edition.
Yeah.
When her songs
Why?
were in English.
That's so fucking dumb.
I told you, dude, they're just racist.
We don't want the American branch to do better than us, so we'll cripple them and make them...
Everything must be Japan.
Unfortunately, the gas chart heavily disagrees with said sentiment.
True.
Within the company. Probably my favorite edit of anything to that particular song.
That shit was so fucking funny.
It's literally just charts being animated, moving. It's hilarious. Best comment I've seen to go with it was whoever was initially in the lead being like, oh shit, I gotta get moving. And then she just hears on your left in a high-pitched voice as a shark suddenly runs past.
Yeah, no, it straight up was really fucking funny because it was just like EN started with like 50K followers. Like it was not a good pre-debut start. And then they debuted. And it was not a good debut start. And then like 2 months passed. And then it was like, oh, rocket fuel time. Drop the nitro.
Put on the Eurobeat.
Yeah, put on the Eurobeat and drop the nitro. We gotta race the finish.
Yeah. I shall link the appropriate edit. Am I dropping this in weeb garbage or 9K?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll just drop it in weeb garbage then.
Yes, I love this.
Truly glorious.
Okay, wait, well, yep, Saba is now at 250K subscribers before
and the videos at 600. Videos at 600 plus.
But yeah, no, fucking Gura. Gura was flying so fast up the ranks of subs that she couldn't even have her 1 million sub party before passing 2 million, and she wasn't able to have her 2 million sub party before passing 4 million.
That is a certain level of skill.
That sounds like she needed to just have a sub party and go, okay, guys, I'm going to cross out this number every time we blow through 1 million. 1, strike through. 2,
well,
strike
no,
through.
see,
3.
the problem is that management wanted to make a big production out of every million pass, so they kept, like, delaying it. So they could monetize her million sub mark.
So more management fuckery screwing things up for Gura.
More or less, yeah.
As seems to be a pattern that had developed.
Despite everything. Success.
You know, I think
Somehow.
I think Totally Not Gura will be able to do memberships the second she goes live.
I think you might be right. I think you might be right.
Like the actual second. We're gonna have to bring back gas. As she destroys her old numbers.
Everyone's joking now. Everyone's joking now. What happens if Gura comes back as Saba and then proceeds to break Gura's record of most subscribed VTuber?
No,
that would be amazing.
I mean, listen, right now, this YouTube account may be one of the best statistical performances so far. The account is like 4 days old, has 1 video, and it's already got 516,000 views.
I wonder, what does Social Blade say about it?
I would say, don't worry, I added 1 and I subscribed.
Oh, wait, it was May 4th. Oh, okay, that explains how this lasted so quietly for so long.
I will say, I do hope that, like, I did like Gura singing, but I really hope she does more gameplay, because I really did like it. Like, she's just bad enough at video games that it's entertaining, but she will eventually beat it.
Well, not only that, she also yaps a bunch, but her yap is actually funny.
Yes.
And adorable.
Yes. And she'll also just say completely off-the-cuff shit that you're just like, Gura.
Then you'll get moments where she just vacuums sand for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, then she'll go into autistic mode and spend the next 35 minutes vacuuming every grain of sand on the map.
Gura, stop.
But I need more sand.
That was the best part, and she said hilarious. She walks into the room, starts the vacuum up, it vacuums some sand, and she goes, oh no. Goes silent for the next 35 minutes, vacuuming every square inch of the room.
That was just amazing to watch.
She locked in.
Autism hit.
Well, I mean, apparently before this, she was working as a house cleaner before.
Oh.
And
I will say old work mode.
Not because, yeah. Not because of
Yeah, well, now we've stepped on each other's toes 1,000 times. We're just gonna keep doing it until it stops being awkward, which it never will.
Clearly.
So please, I'm gonna shut up for a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not because she was like desperate and needed the job. She specifically was like, yeah, I want to clean stuff. I like cleaning stuff. Yeah.
Which also explains her deep and abiding love of Power Wash Simulator.
True.
Yes.
But yeah. So
I mean, I can get behind Power Wash Simulator.
Everyone
but
sounds fun.
It's casual. It's fun.
I would say the one thing that I'll just say to everybody who's like, I'm a Senzawa fan, stop being like, I want her to go back to being an alcoholic gremlin.
Yeah.
Yes, that was entertaining. No, she was not in a good place, and you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's just like, and I can sort of get why she's not going back to being Senzawa, because, again, she said before that she was literally suicidal when she was Senzawa.
Old habits.
And alcoholic, and not even a worry about falling back into old habits. It's just a really dark spot in her life, and she doesn't want to go back to occupying it.
I'm sorry,
understandable.
The dorky short
Yes.
was...
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
Well,
I mean,
you see,
it's
crippling...
really easy, man. You can
Hold
go
on.
and watch this
No,
video.
it's very easy. Yeah.
Fine. Some of the funniest comedians and most well-meaning people I've ever met or seen in my life.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, him. I was trying to remember his name.
Like, you can't say that makes no sense when that is proven true time
Robin Williams
and
is one
time
of the nicest
again.
people around, and his suicide caught everyone off guard.
Oh yeah, because everyone was like,
Now,
if you're about to say anything bad about Robin Williams, you can just get out.
It's not bad.
We're gonna count that as an L for
truth.
2 weeks.
It's the truth.
All right, what's your truth?
Him.
Well, yeah, we know.
I don't know if I can actually put this. I don't know if I can say it. Hang on.
Yeah, we all know how he was found. That doesn't change the fact
know.
that he was an incredibly good human being, brother.
Dude, he was probably everyone knew him as like this cheerful, kind guy, and then we found out it's like, oh no, that was
no. There was yes, I know, but there was a lot of how to put this?
There was a lot more than just the thing that you're saying, buddy. Like, yes, he was doing a certain thing. However, people who knew him knew that he would take that certain thing much further than he knew was safe.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I thought it was just a case of, well...
Also, you don't exactly develop that... Yeah, you don't exactly develop that by being
if you're in a
nice
healthy
and
spot.
Stable, yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. I mean, do you know how many Hollywood actors have died of that exact thing?
Do you realize how little that supports your point?
Like, I would say, do you know how many
Are we getting the sign L?
Yeah, that's a side fucking L right there. God damn. Oh man, Hollywood actors do this too. It's like, yeah.
Do you know how many of them are? Do you know how many of them are hiding like horrid trauma or inflicting horrid trauma and feel guilty about it?
Yes.
Sign L.
How is Tom Hanks these days, anyway?
Alive.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so what's we got here? We got Pillar Winged, a request fic, of course. When Minato gets accepted into Todai, he gets dragged into an adventure that will be challenging and pleasurable.
Oh god. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna go ahead and put on my new favorite song. Nothing you say can hurt me because I'm listening to Minoko's theme.
His life will become a thrill, and he will get all sorts of experiences.
That sounds.
Minato times Mia times giant harem. Takehito is dead. Lemons and sex galore. I might even write some plot.
Oh, Sekiro.
Sign, did you do this?
No, this was not me.
Yeah, so anyway, it's Minato times a giant harem. 21 chapters, about 10k words per chapter, 146 reviews, 745 favorites, updated over the course of the past 5 years. So, I mean, it's a respectable review and update rate. It's just porn, however, so therefore it's not even worth looking at.
Yeah. In the meantime, Sign, I'm going to pay you to write the Saga of Tanya the Evil Sekiro.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Honestly,
I've never played
not
Sekiro,
even interesting.
You don't. It's not a game. It's an anime. Honestly, not worth your time. I distinctly remember it being one of the first animes I watched.
You said Sekiro.
You said Sekiro.
You said Sekiro.
Yeah, I said Sekiro. Fuck. Which, I mean, that would also be boring as fuck.
Yeah, see, the only thing that would make Tanya in Sekirei even remotely interesting is if Tanya was a Sekirei, and that also wouldn't be interesting.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I will maintain that.
That motherfucker.
I really appreciate the microphone he's got hooked up for the extra.
I did say
he
that.
needs to make sure you hear it. Man, I remember. Listen, I am one of those people that got fucking got by Mr. Wu Kite.
I think.
I think my
him.
favorite part was definitely the compilation of streamers that got by the Wu Kite. Ooh, what the fuck is that noise? Dead.
My favorite part is there is more than adequate time to figure out where it's coming from.
I know.
And sometimes the people that got they saw it and like, what the fuck is that? And they got stun locked by what they were seeing.
My possible
as
favorite
Miyazaki intended.
True. As my possible favorite moment is the fact that they got hit by the first one, killed. They get back up, they kill him. They walk forward, they get hit by the second one, and die again.
Oh no.
Yeah, that area just surprised you at times.
Zero pattern recognition.
I'm not sure there's been a single enemy encounter design quite like that one in any other FromSoft game I played.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, it was the prequel to Meteor Man.
Yeah, I still
Where'd the boss
remember...
go? Why is the arena getting brighter?
Oh no.
Oh.
Turds. Oh! But yeah, no,
remember, the first time I got by Kite Man, unfortunately for me, I was jumping when he arrived.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he arrived with a woo as I was sad.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, the only thing that would make a interesting story is if Tanya was a Sekirei, but that's of course obviously not interesting. And I say that as someone who views the Uzume relationship with what's her face, a very
Chihiro.
Yeah. Well, I don't really care what her name is. The point is Chiho, yeah. It's a very sad thing. Just any relationship like that's a sad thing.
Yes.
That's like
I mean, it's sad for multiple reasons.
Yeah, no, obviously. But yeah, no,
like the one between the kid and Musu, was it?
Yeah. No, it's the kid, the deaf kid, and I think it was the little sister.
No,
Sheena and
the main
Yukari.
Character?
Sheena and Yukari is also kind of sad, but no, I'm talking about the one with
that one's less sad.
Musu and the little brat he's with.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
it's sad
yeah.
for Musu because this kid is never gonna acknowledge him, and he's basically
he did at the
stuck
end
with this kid.
Well, I mean,
he did at the end of the manga when he kind of realized, oh shit. And then
but you know, I mean, it's. I've explained this before,
he's also never gonna go and
have a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's like the. I don't even care about the barbecue part of it. It's more just there is 100 of them left as a species. And multiple of them pair bonded out of ever reproducing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So unless they reproduce with each other, I.e., like Uzume Musu got together specifically for the purpose of breeding. Okay, yeah, sure, but we're never told how that happens or anything, or
if it ever happens. Yeah. But considering the whole pair bonding thing, being a very, very, very intense thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably not going to happen.
No.
You also have to remember that the mangaka and the original, author for Sekirei was a Fujoshi mangaka. They told, hey, look, we need you to draw some big titty anime girls to make us money. She goes, okay, make Sekirei. It made a ton of money. And then goes right back to drawing her Fujo shit.
Yeah.
I mean, she, admittedly, very good artist for that kind of stuff. Or at least according to the people who liked it. But
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I like the designs of some of them, but it's just like,
the secondary character designs are pretty good. Yes. You could tone down the chest area a little bit.
Yeah, it's maybe like a couple cup sizes, a little bit.
I mean, other than that, though, the personalities, the faces, the general aesthetic, all of that was spot on. Great stuff. Very, very unique characters, very memorable characters.
Can't say it out loud, but yeah.
Yes. Well, remember, though, Minato also had Ku, and Ku was herself pretty much just waiting for time to tick down at that point, past a certain point.
Well, yes, but that is
because
he didn't choose her. She chose him.
No, he did not choose her. She chose. He came and reviewed her, and she chose him.
Now, I would be very disappointed in him.
That's a good reason to do so.
Yes, I would be very disappointed in him if anything happened before that clock ticks down. But I can't exactly blame him for an action that he didn't do.
Okay, so what you have to remember, another thing about Sekirei is, how old do you think Sheena is?
I mean, technically, he's probably like, what, 3 or 4?
Yeah, he's the same age as Ku, except he stuck around longer to get aged up more before going out and finding Yukari. They're the exact same age. They're from the same generation. So,
I know.
Yeah, only the very oldest. Actually, I take it back. Only Mia was an adult, and only the other 9 single digits were embryos when they were found. They're the only ones who are the age they appear to be. Actually, they might have even aged up the single No, they had to have aged up.
No, they definitely did, because it was only like 10 to 15 years.
They needed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed them to defend the ship, so they probably aged them up. Yeah, about 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
So they're about the same age as Minato.
No, I'm aware, but I mean, first off, he's got a bunch of kills under his belt, so that kind of does change a person in terms of maturity levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
mean, even Matsu has a kill count.
Yeah.
I would say you're not going to get anyone saying that, like, I don't know why I couldn't think of his name for a second. No one's going to pretend that Itachi at 12 is a kid.
Yeah, true. He is not.
Yeah, so it comes down to the fact of, like, if you were, say, a person who was attracted to Itachi and you were an adult and you went after Itachi while he was a kid, that would be sketchy. because you're going after them while they're a kid.
Yeah.
Even if
but
they are legally considered.
Well, even if they're legally considered, yeah, no, I'm talking about from my perspective. I'm not talking about from the in-universe perspective.
From the in-universe, okay. Yeah.
But even though I recognize Itachi is definitely mature enough to be an adult, I still feel like there is a bit of a difference between sexual maturity and mental and emotional maturity.
Yes. However, on the other hand, I will just go ahead and say this.
Oh boy.
As soon as Sasuke's balls dropped, they should have had him popping out Uchiha babies.
That's an in-universe thing. Yeah, no, that's an in-universe thing. So I'm not even gonna grumble about that. Like, I mean, you can't have an in-universe world of superpowers where you have literal bloodline superpowers and everything's about the bloodline. And I mean, they literally almost started another world war over getting a single drop of the Hyuga bloodline. So a village turning around and being like, your only job is to now breed, we don't care that you're like only 12, I would be like, wow, I'm not even surprised.
I'd be like, that's fucked up, but yeah.
I mean, it's fucked up whether they're 12 or 18 or 24. It's fucked up no matter what age they are.
It's fucked up,
but
it's understandable.
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, I can understand
why you're doing this perspective.
You're still monsters, and you still need to die, but...
Well, I mean, it's sort of like, it's like if you're gonna equate it to military, technology, it's like we have an M1 Abrams factory, and we gotta wait.
We have an M1 Abrams factory that can only be manned by this one specific small child. I guess he's working 72 hours.
We need M1 Abrams. He needs to be in the factory as soon as he can manage it. Like, yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, but we need the Abrams.
We need the Abrams, or we need a lot more of him, and it's easier to make more of him than it is to train other people.
Exactly, yeah. So it's just like, yeah, I get it. Because, like, again, something Twitter freaks will never be able to do. I'm able to compartmentalize different aspects of stuff and look at it from different directions. Shocking. But yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's why I always I appreciated they didn't go anywhere with it in Sekirei for Mutsu's relationship. I'm very thankful they refrained.
Yes.
I don't know if that was a refrain by the editor or a refrain by the Fujoshi.
Yeah.
But whoever refrained,
the editor.
Yeah, whoever refrained, I am appreciative of it because yeah, it's just like, damn, those optics are I get it. Mutsu's like 10, he's like 10, but at the same time,
that's kind of iffy.
Well, but also it's like Mutsu, even though Mutsu's like technically mentally 10 years old, he spent those 10 years with a fully developed body. And so his brain is actually operating, even if it had a dearth of experience, his brain is still operating on a different level than a child's, despite them both existing for the same amount of time.
Yes.
Listen, it's incredibly fucked no matter which way you slice it. It's a little less fucked this way. It's still fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure that the author in question draws her own doujins.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if there was a doujin somewhere that had that chapter that was cut.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Fucking BL is just the most degenerate shit. And honestly, I find it really funny. Because, obviously you have degenerate shit for Yuri, but, I see a lot of Yuri that's just like, Lamau, they're having happy fun times together. and then it's like every BL story is just bros getting giga-rammed. And that's all the story is about. That's basically all that's going on. Ever. It's like, oh. Okay.
I wouldn't know. I've never looked into BL. Tell us about your experiences with BL, Sneaky. Your depth and breadth and width of girthy experience with BL.
I knew girls in high school. That's how I know about it.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Okay, that's
I
fair.
joined an anime club thinking I was going to watch a bunch of anime in high school. And it turns out
what you watched was boys getting railed.
No. I put a stop to that. I joined an anime club.
That's what was on offer at the time.
Yes. I joined an anime club in high school thinking I was going to be able to finally watch some anime, because I didn't know what to watch. Like, I had watched anime previously, obviously, you know, Ghost in the Shell and shit like that, but I didn't know, like, the good stuff, right?
Didn't know what was good.
And so I was like, oh, well, I'll join the anime club. And it was me, a gay guy, and 8 girls.
Yes, that explains it.
And they're like, hey, let's put on this one. I looked at the title, I looked at the characters involved, and I said, no, that's BL shit, isn't it? Except I didn't use the words BL, I used different words. We all know what words I used, but I used different words. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, no, we're fucking not watching that shit. Someone's gonna put something else on. I don't know what else we're putting on, but we're not putting that shit on. But of course, obviously, because it was a gay guy and 8 girls, they liked to talk and discuss anime, and a lot of it was BL. And honestly, it was really funny, because it got to the point sometimes where even the gay guy was like, this is getting a bit too much for me. Even he was like, man, this is starting to go beyond my tolerance level.
Girls, I think this is a little excessive.
Girls, I'm not sure how to say this, but this is a little too gay.
Just do an arranged marriage, they'll be fulfilled later. It's messed up, but not as criminal. Yeah. I joined an anime club. The first thing we watched was Gurren Lagann. Yeah, well, I mean,
unfortunately, I went to a private Christian high school, so there was no anime club, but there were certain individuals who had certain tastes, and unfortunately, that was the only place I could get some anime.
Yeah.
While occasionally having to put up with proclivities.
Yes. Whipped into shape. Go to Tokyo, they said. You might find waifu, they said. Well, now I've got 3 waifu, and if that wasn't enough, they're constantly fighting each other, over me especially. Yeah, how did you not see that one coming? We've got some rich cape-wearing freak talking about Sekirei plan. All I want to go is Akihabara. I didn't want this, but this is some game that I'm damn sure not gonna lose over it. Okay. OC times...
That does not sound like him at all.
Well, that's because it's an OC.
I know.
OC goes to Tokyo. An adventure romance, 200k words, 26 chapters, published over the course of the last 3 years. 100 favorites, 48 reviews. So even worse than just the porn story. Goddamn. Okay, yeah. What's the dialogue look like in this one? Welcome to my first story.
I can guarantee
it. Well, first story. Here we go. First story. No. blah blah blah. Disclosure: I'm familiar with Sekirei and have read the manga and watched the anime, but it's not my favorite series, so I'm going in blind.
Then why the what? No, you're not. No, you're fucking not blind.
What? What? I've read and watched the series, so I'm going in blind because I didn't enjoy it.
That's not
what?
Author, I don't think that means what you think it means.
Oh, they're totally gonna be like they're gonna be like a Zoomer, aren't they? They're gonna join like 20. Nope, they're millennial. No, hold on now. They joined 2013. They might be a zillennial.
Ugh. Is there anything truly more cringe?
True. My name is Jakaros, formerly Shinteno Jadeite. Okay. It was right there, first fanfic. Yeah, no, we said first fanfic.
Oh, that sounds like an old Sailor.
Yeah, that sounds like a Sailor Moon fan. Yeah, he's got Sailor Moon, yep. I'm merely doing this to maintain my dwindling sanity. Feel free to PM me. My OTPs. No. Oh, shit. No. I mean, again, he joined 2013. Long bios was kind of the thing until, like, 2015.
Yeah, that's a fucking millennial, man.
Off limits. Gay shit. Incest. Okay.
Well, author. Okay.
I bet? Question mark. Cool.
His first story ever. What is his first story? Yeah, first story ever published was the Sekirei story. Yeah. How about that? And he followed that up with a Genshin Impact story. No, guys.
That's a mistake.
I think he might be a zillennial. I don't know a lot of our generation that's... Like, I know a lot of our generation that plays Genshin Impact, but not, like...
Not enough to write a story?
They're not Genshin Impact stans, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's plenty of stans for Genshin Impact in the millennial generation. I just don't think it's our generation's standing. I think it's a bunch of 20-something. Which, man, that actually kind of hurts to say now that I'm no longer a 20-something. Right.
I mean, there's certainly a lot of fans
One day soon, you'll be the big 4-0.
Well, you know, Sign will always be 50 years behind you, so...
That's right. I'm gonna get there first.
Indeed. Court adjourned. What happens when the god of justice is kicked out of her own courtroom? She takes out her frustrations on her nemesis, of course. Forced to wander her realm, Farina discovers things about herself and her companions and the world. In truth, she could think of worse ways to spend the day. Aw, so cute. Friendship romance. Aether times Farina. Adventure romance. Barbara times Bennett. Honky Star Rail. I will say, Honky Starbucks is possibly one of the funnier derogative nicknames I've heard.
I mean, from what I've heard,
Starbucks.
Star Rail apparently has a decent story, from my understanding.
Not anymore!
Oh, what happened this time?
I started the game this month to try and prep for the Fate event. I want to try and grab those units. The first planet was really well written. Sneaky's warned me it goes downhill from here, and I'm worried.
Yeah, so effectively what happened was in the 2.0 update, they brought in the plot director from Honkai Impact 3rd, And it's not that he writes terrible story. It's that he tells the story at the same speed as a easily distracted 14-year-old girl.
And fits and starts.
Well, that's
completely disconnected from each other.
Good.
It's been, and this isn't just like, oh, this is your bias, Sneaky. It's like, no, it's like I went to people who are massive Honkai Star Rail fans who made their channels off of Honkai Star Rail, and they're like, yeah, the story sucks. What's said in 8 hours could have been said in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
wow.
the newest arc is very much an acquired taste, I'll say, if you do enjoy it at all. Otherwise, it's kind of just like, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make this whole epic arc instead of just being like 2 patches and then it's just a bunch of filler content. But they're not doing it very well. They are.
Props to Starfail for killing off all their major characters. They're really gonna make the villain win on this one. Hey, maybe. I mean, it's a very Honkai storyline, I guess.
I've heard ZZZ's actually fun to play, so fucking, I don't know. I might have to jump on that train at some point.
I'm gonna be honest with you. ZZZ is effectively occupying the same slot as Nikke, in where the gameplay is mildly good, but pretty much the only thing that's keeping people coming back is the massive gallons they are losing.
That's not why people stay with Nikke at all, Sneaky. Nikke, unironically, has amazing writing and music. I don't know why people stick around for ZZ. I think it's mostly the character writing for that one.
Dev spoiled how the new update will go in the update notes.
Amazing. Not surprised.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well done, you fucking moron.
Well,
we don't even have to wait for someone to leak them. We're just gonna fucking leak them ourselves.
True.
So yeah, basically
more than one gacha game. God damn it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, his first stories were in fact the Sailor Moon, but he took them down and then re-uploaded them. So I guess we could check mark off V2 since we're looking at them. Dev's already spoiled the entire story. Amazing.
Yeah, they did previewing one of the next character coming out, and it's just like, wait, why is this in the description? That sounds like a very important plot point.
You know, at this point, I think them and the Games Workshop Codex department are just sharing notes.
I wish I was joking though. Like, what in the description of this thing, like one of the fancy, I'm gonna call them MacGuffins. I don't know if that's the right term for them. That they're going around collecting from the various ended gods and whatnot. That one he has is probably one of the most important ones. And we have not even covered approaching that one.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's one of those curses of gacha games where if they would just make a full $50 to $70 experience that runs 30 to 60 hours and just release it every 3 years, that'd be great because you get more coherent storytelling and less writer burnout.
I mean, it's just like that's like the fucking issue that Genshin has, in where pretty much every character has a part 1 to their character story, but no character will ever get a fucking part 2 because they make more money selling new characters than they do continuing old character storylines.
Of course.
Very few characters get multiple dedicated episodes to their lore and
but the worst part is it's not even like some of these character storylines are written with the idea of their isolation. They're written with the idea of being continued. So they'll just, like, drop off mid-story, effectively. It's like, oh, okay.
Depends on which one. I need to go back and remember. Some of them kind of do have a somewhat of an end where they're more or less like, yeah, they could do more, but they finished what they wanted to tell.
Yeah, but that's completely dependent on the author, effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I think MiHoYo has proven why gacha games as an industry need to fucking go away.
Yeah,
I mean, look, it's like, look, so I have been against it from the start, right? Atin and Nose can attest. I was literally, actually, Max, you might even be able to attest to this, is that I have been against the idea of paying for new characters in a video game since League of Legends first came out. Like,
yeah. No, you have been. I've always been ambivalent, but that's because I was in the fighting game scene for a while. And sometimes a new character coming out meant balance updates coming with it.
well, I mean, that was the same for League of Legends and Dota.
Free, though, at least.
Yeah, it's just like...
No, I know. But Dota's got the fucking magical formula down.
No, yeah, no, it definitely does.
The magical formula is we have all the heroes, here's all the costumes. Also, we're Valve, so we have a whole bunch of people that are just gonna do this shit regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But, I mean, it's... Here's the thing, right? Like, League, Heroes of New Earth, and Dota 2... Well, Dota 2 started a little bit later. But League, Heroes of New Earth, and Dota 2 all existed at the same time. Heroes of New Earth died messily because they tried to over-monetize back in the day. And League was still monetizing.
Blade Master had
pretty significantly. Like, League was making you pay, like, what was it? The amount of gems you had to do was like you had to play like win 20 games of League or 25 games of League to pay for a new character.
That's not even the worst part. They reduced the amount of like shit you can get now, so now you're forced to buy shit.
Well, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about back in the day. It's I don't feel like a competitive game should be selling new characters. Like, if you want to make a single player game, and if you want to make a new character and be like, hey guys, here's a new storyline for this single player character, we're gonna charge like you $5, $10, $15 for it because it's basically an expansion DLC that's expanding upon the world, adding a bunch of shit. Literally a new character, new animations, spells, damage items, etc. It's like, oh, okay, that's fair enough. But like in a game where you compete, I was like, this is kind of really dog shit. I mean, obviously it progressed into really scummy behaviors where they were doing shit like selling a character that just came out for twice the cost of a normal character. And then on top of that, for like the first 2 weeks, they were beyond broken, and then they would be nerfed, and then their price would be reduced back to normal. And like that's just like, I was just like, holy shit! How are people still playing League? Like, I was blown away that people were still fans of League, despite that being the character cycle. At least with Dota, the character's free.
People still do it because, one, they have friends that play it, and it's popular because of that. People just go, oh yeah, we do that, and it's fun, and we're in the fucking, like, cycle. It's the same reason why Sneaky, it's the same reason why we still play Dota. It's because people
Dota's
that we know
free.
are in it.
Yes, but Dota's entirely free. That's the difference, is that I always liked Valve's method more of selling skins. Sell the shit out of skins. Now, look, I recognize the fact that I think skins should be competitive only. Selling skins should be competitive only. Selling characters should be single player only. Because when you sell skins in a single player or PvE experience game, that means the loot you get is going to be dog shit. Because there's an incentive to making the skins cool because they cost real money. But in a competitive game where the draw of the game isn't you pumping numbers, it's you beating players, then it's fine to sell skins, but not new characters. Because you're not gatekeeping metas behind a paywall, you're gatekeeping looking cool behind a paywall, which is totally fine. Because the focus of the game should be on the gameplay when it's PvP. The focus on the game should be aesthetics to a certain point when it is PvE. And I've just always been against it. Pulling for characters and then pulling for their weapons and then pulling for their artifacts and then pulling for their side upgrade and then pulling them again because there's like 7 tiers to the weapon and the artifact and the character. That's ludicrous. It's insane. Yeah. There needs to be ways to earn them for free. That should incentivize.
GFL started doing that, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah. It's just I get it. I understand. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of free, easy money. I just don't see a future for your game that doesn't just devolve into retards pouring their money into a fire pit. Like, if all you want to do is earn money, that's one thing. Hey, pop off, King. But if you have any sort of integrity as an artist who wants to tell a story or entertain their customer base, there's proof. Claire Obscure 33 is proof you can easily do that without devolving into money grubbing.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was in the restroom, but yeah, Claire Obscure is. I mean, the fact that it's selling as well as it has now. When I look at it, are there some things that I wish were a little bit better? Yeah, like I wish there was more than one parry animation for most things, right? I wish there was more than one counter animation. But that's a tiny niggle, and that's what separates the AA from the AAA.
Yeah.
That doesn't take away from the fact that it has excellent character models. The animations they do have are fantastic. The combat system's great. The music is just fucking banging. And the story is a thing? I don't necessarily agree with the ending. I think that do we want to talk about that?
No, we can leave it.
Yeah, it's too new, but suffice to say, I think without giving things away, I think that the authors fell for a trap that a lot of people fall for, which is introducing stuff way too late in the game as a narrative concept. Like, they introduced this whole background stuff. Yeah.
No, that just sounds like early 2010s Western RPG. That sounds like a AAA game from 12 years ago. That's what you just described.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're not wrong. But yeah, they did a very specific thing, and it's like, why did you?
Yeah. What possessed you to do this?
Why did you introduce a whole background war? In the 3rd act, when you revealed some character information, like, and then you don't elaborate on any of it, and you show us that there's
I think what it is, it's just a case of author greenhornism, where you think you have time to include all the details you want, and then by the time you actually get to where you realize is the closing part of the story, you're like, oh shit, I haven't introduced all of these important details yet, but we're nearly done. And then you just start slamming them in, despite them not really making sense to be happening this late. But you kind of have to put them in because the context for the finisher is dependent on them. And so, yeah, it's just a classic Greenhorn issue of not properly outlining your story. and thinking you have more time than you do. It's especially bad when you realize your game's going on for too long, or you can't fit all the content you want into it, and so now you have to cut parts of the story out, usually near the end, because that's the parts that haven't had the content made for it yet. So what could have been a sensible storyline, introduction of information, turns into a very brief wham bam thank you ma'am, now we're fighting God. It's like, oh.
Meanwhile, yes. God is off busy fighting his
Final
own
Fantasy
war.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, meanwhile, then you find out that God is in fact off fighting their own war against somebody else.
So yeah, it was just a case of either they had a storyboard and it had to get shortened because they didn't have the time or space to fit more stuff into the story, or it was a case of them having a clear cutoff point from the start and the writing team not realizing how much they were delaying putting stuff into the story. But either way, yeah, I've just always been against gacha, for characters and for their weapons, I guess you could say. It's just, I get it.
It doesn't help that some gachas don't, but like Arknights, it's just the operators. That's it. There's nothing else cluttering the pool.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Fate Grand Order has servants and craft essences, and you can bet your ass those things are weighted more towards craft essences than servants.
Obviously. Well, I think my main issue with it is that everyone knows that if they put a price tag on every single character, the game would collapse. Everyone knows that. If they came out with every single update and they're like, hey guys, so this character's $40, this character's $30, this character's $30, this character's $30, this character's $30, this character's $20, this character's $20, no one would buy them. Like, yeah, sure, you would have some people buying them, but a fraction of the people would be buying them compared to gacha. And the only reason why the gacha lets them get away with it is because people are retarded and they're spending in small amounts. Spending in small amounts, air quotes.
Yeah, well, because it's only $10 to do a poll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Asmon was so based for that, by the way. That was so fucking funny. I don't know if you guys ever saw Asmon's gacha gameplay, where I think he got sponsored to play Genshin Impact or something. I think he was sponsored for that stream. And he just snuck in every single time he pulled, he would just light a $20 bill on fire. It was a fake 20, obviously.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah, every single time he pulled, he just lit a $20 bill on fire and threw it into the trash can.
Amazing.
So it was just like, yeah. People don't realize it be like that, but it do. I've seen a few Royal Road stories like that. There's one where the author realized the kerfuffle carried the story when he was approaching the ending. Yeah, also Elden Ring moment. True. The upfront price was lower than the average price from gacha. Yeah, no, even if the upfront price, even if the characters were marked at like $5 and then the SSR characters were marked at like $15, which would be arguably massively cheaper than any sort of gacha pull for those characters, and people still would end up not buying them because every single update would bring 5 more characters, possibly power creeping everything. And don't get me wrong, I mean, League obviously proved that you'll have people hunting down the costs no matter what. but it definitely is a significantly less amount of people. And, however, I'm all for it. I think if they want to keep the gacha in, I think they should just add a new part of the store that's just called character buy, where you just buy the character. And they can let the broke boys gacha all their money away, but I just want to buy the character.
Yeah.
Truly,
It's
they're
annoying because all I think about all the free-to-play MMOs that existed in my middle, high school, and college years that were around for a decade and a half. They didn't have these systems.
Yeah.
They didn't have gacha pools. They still survived because people donated or they bought the cool cosmetics. We proved.
I mean, hell, RuneScape lasted forever. Like, back in the day, RuneScape literally just sold a cape. Like, hey, pay us money, you get a cape, the money goes towards keeping RuneScape active. That's it. You don't get any special benefits. And then over time, yeah, they started adding membership benefits, but the original offer was literally just money for a cape. And thousands of people still did it because they're like, I like RuneScape. I want RuneScape to keep going. Here is money.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been proven in gaming.
You have rose-tinted goggles?
Cosmetic stuff.
What do I have rose-tinted goggles about?
Who's saying this?
Phoenix.
I would say, let him make his point.
What?
No, yeah. What do we have rose-tinted goggles about? The people paying for it? Wizard 101 was a big MMO when I was growing up. It was a massive gacha in hindsight on top of a monthly membership. True! Wizard 101 was a massive scam.
Wait. Wizard 101 had a gacha system?
Oh, yeah, it did.
Was it really that bad?
I never played it because it didn't look interesting to me.
Yeah, it looked dog shit, so I never played it past the opening.
I was curious at the time, but I
got a 15-day free trial for Wizard 101 off of something. I forget what it was, and I dropped it in. I made a character. I was like, "Damn, I fucking hate this shit." I never looked back.
Out of curiosity, which of us is sitting here saying that we liked Wizard 101 and it was better? Out of curiosity,
none of us.
Listen, the MMOs that I play, because I mostly played. I played a fair bit of free MMOs, but most of the MMOs I paid for. I paid for Star Wars Galaxies. That shit was fun.
Yeah.
Look,
here's the thing, right? And this is what I really shit on WoW for. When it came to handling the game, it's okay. So you're paying for the initial game. You're paying for every expansion pack that comes out. And you need to pay for every expansion pack that comes out because your content for the non-expansion pack does not exist. If you don't pay for the expansion pack, you might as well just stop playing the game. So then on top of paying for the original game, paying for every expansion pack, which it was only around Warlords of Draenor, I think, that they stopped making you buy all the previous expansion packs. I just want to be clear there. So the initial WoW buy-in was getting massive. It was like $120 to buy into WoW. And then you're paying a $20, well, it was like a $15, but still, $15 monthly membership on top of all of that. And then WoW had the gall to have a store. That's not allowed. That is not permitted. That is not okay. I mean, if I have to pay every step of the way everywhere else, no store. You don't get a store. If you want to open it to free-to-play players, have a store, and then every month, because I'm a patron of yours, I'm getting store credits, I'll accept that.
I think you should stick to the only store that's there, or the stores run by NPCs selling me new loot.
True. No, I agree. I personally, I'm against the store, but if this is a case of WoW's membership is dying massively because of the massive buy-in, because of the monthly membership, because of the quality of the content going down, because they're pursuing more monetization methods, the quality of the content going down because they filled their writer roster with fucking scalies, the quality of the content going down because they're more focused on making sure that they have a poor, black, gay, disabled man who dates a blind centaur with a hearing eye dog and a
eye dog. Shut the fuck up.
No, okay then.
Like that's the crazy part is like I wish I was exaggerating, but that's quite literally what happened. In that internally, Blizzard literally had a tool that they created.
No, they had the diversity box.
Yeah, it was literally a diversity scaler tool that put a number of diversity points into every race where certain races were more diverse than other races. I'm not just talking about like non-white and everyone else was like 5 points and white was like 0 points. No, I'm saying like, oh, like black was 17 points, Arab was 12 points, Asian was 6 points, white was 1 point. So, like
so
it was
we're bringing out Blizzard's chart again, huh?
Yeah, we're bringing out Blizzard's fucking diversity chart again because it's just fucking hilarious. But like that's what happened. Like, if your game's going downhill, the clear and obvious answer: open it to free to play. I mean, it is. If you want to salvage your game's numbers, you open it to free to play.
I mean, look at what happened with the Old Republic.
What happened if the expansion pack was also boring, like Mists of Pandaria? Yeah, I mean, look, I quit at Cataclysm. I came back at Legion. And I didn't even come back at the start of Legion. I came back at the end of Legion. Because that's when Legion actually got good. People think the start of Legion was good. It was fucking dog shit. Blizzard also had a lot of weird sexual scandals. Yeah, well, I mean, that's what happens when you fill your, development teams with freaks.
With freaks and a bunch of drunken frat dude bros.
Well, here's the problem. The drunken frat dude bros were actually producing the best content.
Not arguing they weren't producing the best. I'm not arguing about the content that they're producing. I'm arguing about what they let them get away with. Like,
the freaks get away with, or the dude bros get away with?
The dude bros. The dude bros. They let the dude bros get away with certain things, and then to keep things fair, they had to let the freaks get away with certain things.
Well, it wasn't to keep things fair. It was just a very permissive culture in general. Which again, I mean,
that's what led to the Bill Cosby suite.
Yeah, which I mean, like, look, I'm just saying, it's hard to sexually assault your coworkers when there's no women to sexually assault in the office.
That's not how that works.
That is how that
not
works.
how that fucking works.
But yeah, no, they had lots of problems. And I mean, it was kind of just inevitable that it all came crashing down. It's just like, hey, let's blow up our top game with dog shit writing and then scream at our player base for not enjoying the dog shit writing because we can't admit we're wrong, because if we admit we're wrong, that means someone's got to be fired, but if we fire someone, that means they might reveal the crazy shit we got up to. So, circle the wagons!
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
But, yeah, so anyway, Sekirei is a very interesting section. Despite its Oh god, Sekiro's been running for 17 years.
I mean, it's not still going, is it?
No, it's not still going. It's not. No, they had a sequel.
Wait, what? There's a sequel?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a sequel, wasn't there? Sign, you know best.
There was like a follow-up thing to the main plot, but there was no. I don't remember there being an official sequel. This is the first I've heard of it.
Hang on, do you
I
mean
thought
to
there was a sequel.
The manga or to the anime? Because yeah, there was a Sekiro season 2 for the anime, but
there's a sequel called
there was 365 days without her. Yeah, okay, so there wasn't actually a sequel. It's just a very classic instance of, once again, of the absolute genius of the industry, where you create a, I mean, technically, I guess it was a hit. Oh my god, Sekiro's actually 20 years old.
Oh.
No.
November 3rd, 2004.
Fuck off.
It was a Square Enix manga. I didn't know that until today.
Yeah.
It's a Square Enix manga?
Yeah, it was Square Enix.
The sounds of confusion.
The fuck?
I have just been stump-locked a bit by that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Blizzard also make a sequel to a famous PC game that was long awaited, and they put it only on the phone? And then they mocked their player base for not having phones? Yeah, they did that, yeah.
That is accurate.
I actually read Sekiro. Is it good?
Do you not have smartphones?
That
was not the correct thing to say.
It exists, is what I'll say.
Yeah,
it's not...
so Sekiro... So here's the thing about Sekiro in the West. Sekiro in the West was a mediocre story with a mediocre cast that
with
only...
good animation is what I'll say. Good.
It's
not
okay
great,
animation.
Not amazing.
Yeah.
First time it was okay.
It
was pretty okay.
And the only thing that kept it afloat in the Western Hemisphere was the fact that it was one of the few actually translated stories. That was the only reason why it had the success it did in the West.
Yeah.
Which wasn't much of a success, to be clear. So.
Yeah. Also, I just learned, apparently, they made a PlayStation 2 game for it.
Yeah,
that does not surprise me.
It's a visual novel instead of being a simple action RPG.
Actually, you know what?
Had the perfect
that's where Johan's
for a
from.
simple beat 'em up or a simple fighting game, but you say no, fuck that visual novel.
It would have actually been kind of cool.
All of the waifus.
You could have done it two ways, right? You could have done it in a sort of hack and slash. Was it? What do you call Dynasty Warrior? Is that hack and slash?
Well, technically that's most of the game, but yeah, it's basically just hack and slash, just hit button kill thing.
Yeah, like you could have done a Dynasty Warrior style hero hack and slash, where you control the Sekiro that you've unlocked, and you have some sort of game mission that you have to complete, and you could completely deviate from canon, so you could gamify everything, and like every mission is another game that Manaka has put up, and then like tell your own fucking story through that. And then alternatively, you could have done it in a Max, you remember the one mecha game for the PS2 where aliens invaded and you had to fight the alien mecha with your mecha?
Yes, you're talking about Red, where you controlled each arm with a different analog.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I not even that. I would have just straight up gone like the Naruto Ninja Storm route.
Oh, yeah, true.
Fighter, follow the story, and there's also a multiplayer mode that's decently balanced for the character.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is like I'm just listing out the different ways they could have gone with it, where they could have gone with like a environment destructibility, running around the map, fighting other Sekiro style. They could have gone with a 2D platform fighter game. They could have gone with like there is so many variations of game theme they could have gone with. Turn-based.
Yeah, because every Sakurai is a different fucking ability archetype. You have healers, you have DPS, you have tanks.
Exactly. Like they could have really gone literally anywhere with it.
It was the perfect setting for like 4 or 5 genres.
Yeah.
For video games, and they pick the most boring route they could.
Yep. It's crazy because like Sekirei was also like, unlike Naruto or One Piece or a Bleach game where you kind of have like the hard-coded fan expectation. Sekirei, no one really cared about Sekirei for the plot.
Sneaky, they cared extensively for the plot. They just didn't care for the plot.
Yeah, exactly. But my point being is that totally opens you up for just each game has its, like, you could have literally made 5 different Sekirei games. Each game has its own canon storyline about how the Sekirei game went. Each game had its own main character. You could have just made up new characters. As long as you kept the Sekireis the same throughout all the games, that's pretty much the only thing that people actually cared about.
They actually introduced 2 new Sekirei in the game.
Yep.
And these character signs. One is generic RPG girl.
Wow, that really is generic RPG girl.
And the other is generic RPG girl, but from like a desert nation.
Oh my god, you're right.
See, they even designed RPG characters, but made it a visual novel.
That's crazy.
Wow. Holy shit, that is the most generic fucking...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Somehow,
yeah.
the dude who's the Ashikabi of one of them is more unique looking than
That's crazy.
That's impressive.
And he's just a dude in a hoodie.
Damn.
Bro, not only are they aggressively generic, they're the most aggressively generic 2000s anime.
Honestly,
3 of them.
Slap some sunglasses on this dude, he would make for a great mid-rank antagonist.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he is an antagonist.
I know, but slap some sunglasses on him. Gotta add class. That's how you know he's serious business when he's got the sunglasses on.
Okay.
I think I've seen him as I think I've seen this guy as a thug in Fate Grand Order.
You know he's taking you seriously when he takes the sunglasses off.
Exactly. That's the point of the sunglasses.
That's amazing.
I'm taking you seriously. I'm taking my sunglasses off.
He wears them everywhere, including indoors, where it's dark.
This is because he's an asshole.
True. But yeah, no, it's absolutely crazy.
Like that, we knew he was an asshole.
It's crazy
I think
that
I've seen. You know what? I've actually seen less generic character designs in the GameCube custom Robo.
True.
Damn, that's crazy.
But yeah,
listen,
no, I mean, it's crazy.
I want to be clear. I say that as a fan of custom Robo.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's insane that they had such a, I'm not gonna say gold mine, maybe like a copper mine.
They had a decent stash of stuff they could have pulled out. Like again.
Yeah, that's just crazy how
because
hard they dropped
the video game came out in 2009. This was like decently late into the PS2 life cycle.
Man, that's actually crazy if you really think about it, right? If they had come out with any of the games we listed besides the turn-based, because that would just have been compared to Final Fantasy. If they had come out with any of the games we listed that wasn't turn-based, they would literally be the pioneers in their field in 2009.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about.
I mean, hell, they could have done horny Final Fantasy. And been a pioneer.
They could have done horny Final Fantasy. True.
I'm gonna make a reminder here that I completely forgot about because I haven't thought about it in a hot minute. This was on the PS2 in 2009. The PS3 was 06.
Oh.
So There is
Never
no
mind.
excuse. There is no excuse
Why?
for them not to have just looked at other genres of the PS2 and been like, we're gonna do that with Sekirei.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Let me see. When did Ultimate Ninja first drop on the PS2? Help me out here, Google.
Freaking
That
Senran
is-
Kagura actually might have had competition.
Yeah, I know, right? That is.
The first Ultimate Ninja game was 2004.
Wow.
All they had to do.
Mass Effect
was
copy out in
copy
2006.
Oh yeah, that was a launch year title, wasn't it?
Yeah.
On PS3.
Yeah.
I don't know what they thought they were cooking on the PS2 with Sekirei, but it clearly wasn't good.
Well, visual novel, Sekirei, PS2 in 2009. You realize PS3 is already out, right? Shut the fuck up.
Nah, hey man. Listen, I remember working at the video store in 2020 and getting fucking Wii titles, okay?
Yeah, that shit was.
In fact,
you
I
could walk in and pick up a fucking. You could pick up like fucking Nintendo 64 shit back then.
No, but like 2020, I remember I was so flabbergasted. I sent these guys in the group chat. No, I think we were still using Skype at that point. I remember hitting up the group like, I just got a fucking Wii game in.
Yeah,
like,
you did.
A new one.
2020 was Discord though.
Yeah. So, in the same year that in the same year that the Sekirei game released on PS2, Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 had dropped in December of that year on PS3. Also, I just learned, I didn't know this, but apparently Japan was the last one to get the first Ultimate Ninja Storm game on PS3. It released in North America, Europe, and Australia in 2008. And then Japan got it in January of 2009.
That's hilarious.
That's very rare for that to happen.
Do you think they were using everyone else to beta test?
Nah, first off, the release was way too close together. Second, they didn't do balance updates in the PS3 era of Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Damn.
Whatever you got was what you got. Whatever you got was what you got, man. This was still at the height of if you want a balance update to this fighting game, you're gonna have to wait for the 2.0 version. Like Street Fighter 4 set a precedent for free balance updates that hadn't really been done in fighting games up to that point. Like BlazBlue fans, we just got used to, 2.0 is coming, great, that means we'll have a balance update. Oh, Extend's coming, great, we'll have another balance update that will fix a lot of problems that this $8 DLC character is currently running roughshod in the last 6 months of the current version.
Yeah, you had to deal with
release. You guys are.
You had to deal with release Sagat in the first fucking game.
Remember when I mentioned? Remember when you first explained Dota to me years ago, before you'd even introduced me to Nose and Atin?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, so you guys get balance updates for free? All the characters are free, and characters that release are actually decently well balanced, if a little overtuned for the first week.
Yeah, I remember.
There's a reason I'm kind of surprised. Because I came from a community where that wasn't normal.
No, back then it was just the first week.
Yeah, it wasn't until we started getting into like talent trees and redone ags and whatnot that we started getting some funky stuff where it was like, I don't think this is quite balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they just defaulted to releasing the character without ags and shit because they're like, guys, look, we need to figure out how this character plays first.
Yeah.
But even sometimes they put stuff out and it's like, ooh, this is very broken. Look at you, Beastmaster fucking axes.
Oh yeah, where you could solo Roche level 1 with a smoke. That was balanced.
Yeah.
By the way, it did damage to towers.
I don't know what the Tekken scene was like. For all I know, Tekken might have done updates on their PS3 versions. I don't really know. Japan wasn't really popping out a lot of games that needed those like month 1 and 2 patches that Western games had started doing on the PS3 when developers realized, oh, we can literally push updates in real time now. Because the consoles were going towards a much more heavily online.
We lost something on the way, which was people releasing buggy games and then just updating them. But we did gain a lot more actual updates.
Well, because up to that point, online play was next to impossible outside of PC, to the point that I didn't learn until my senior year of high school. That big old empty box in the back of my old PS2, I didn't know that was for network adapters.
I mean, the original Xbox, which came out in a weird time frame, I'll admit, but that had multiplayer.
Yes, but that came out like halfway through the PS2 life cycle, and that was a big selling point of the Xbox, which is part of what helped push the multiplayer functions that we then saw with Xbox 360 and PS3 being way more accessible. The PS2 needed an adapter to plug into Ethernet. The Xbox just came with it.
Yeah.
And the PS3 is like, oh, okay. Well, we're going to innovate by adding a Blu-ray player now, and a built-in Ethernet, and a Wi-Fi card. Which is also why Xbox 360 ended up losing several Japanese games because they refused to move on to a Blu-ray player. Xbox fans, BlazBlue fans on the Xbox got fucked out of Chrono Phantasma, which was the newest one at the time, because it needed to be on a Blu-ray disc for both the read speed and the storage space. Microsoft learned their lesson with that one. Well, not with BlazBlue.
Are you sure they learned it?
Blu-ray player in general. Yeah, I miss the days when competing consoles actually pushed competition and innovation in the scene, and now it's literally, do you want your Sony branded pre-built PC or your Microsoft branded pre-built PC?
Yeah,
I miss when game devs had to follow reasonable packaging sizes. Now they just go, this is 7 billion gigs, hope you like it.
Well, I mean, you know, when you have infinite hardware, you can just keep coding inefficiencies, and you don't have to train your people. So it's a win-win for the game developers, because the less trained their people are, the less they have to pay them. So anyway, let's talk this one. Discarded Wings. A lonely, troubled man rescues a drenched stranger who wields eerie power over ice. I mean, it's not really eerie power, it's kind of absolute power. I wouldn't call someone... Well, yeah, but I wouldn't really call that eerie. It's like if they got fucking floating icicles around them, it's like, alright. Okay. It's not like they're like... I save eerie for like... I'm brushing my teeth and I look up into the mirror and they're kind of just there. In the background of my mirror, staring at me from the hallway. That's eerie. Being able to float icicles, especially in a world 40 years into fantasy RPGs, that's not really eerie. If you think that's eerie, damn, you're a normie.
I would say it's a bit strange, perhaps, but...
unusual. I would if I saw someone floating, shooting icicles IRL, I would definitely be like, damn.
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
I should invest in a gun.
Average Warhammer Fantasy Empire citizen.
Claims he's her destined one, and she hints at a secretive plan that endangers them both, and their fragile connection grows. but what shadows lie behind her powers, and can they face them together before the cold closes in? So I'm going to be honest with you. I completely understand why this
sounds
story...
like a shitty Frostpunk fanfiction.
Not even... I mean, yes, but no. It's a hurt comfort romance, so it's already massively cringe. The summary is completely just off base. Like, the summary is written, I think, by AI. Because, honestly, no one who's actually read Sekirei would write a summary like this for Kitsu.
Yeah, no. Anyone who knows like Sekirei and shit would just kind of be like, probably all family, like, oh, superpowered aliens, yay, instead of going eerie. It's like, what person would just go eerie in general? Like, I know you said
a normie
already, but
like I said, literally a normie. Someone who knows nothing about Sekirei and has never played a video game in their entire lives. But yeah, no, I mean, like, no one, like, this is what I'm saying, the summary, like, she hints at a secretive plan that endangers them both. Why would she doesn't hint at it? What? None of the Sekirei hint at the Sekirei plan. They just blatantly, openly say, yeah, Sekirei plan, we're gonna be fighting each other, giant battle royale.
Like, hope you don't fucking die, boss.
Like, there's no hinting there.
I could understand from Akitsu, considering she was never really properly released.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. It it's going to be a 100% one way or a 100% the other way. Either she doesn't know anything about the Sekirei plan, so she's not going to be hinting about it at all. She's not even going to know about it, so she's not going to talk about it to him. So there's never going to be a, oh, there might be danger coming for us. Like, there's either none of that, or it's she knows about the plan, and obviously she would immediately tell him because they would try and separate them. So, again, no hinting. So if you know anything about Sekirei, no hinting. Their fragile connection grows. Again, there's no fragile connection here either, right? So again, if you know anything about Kitsu, you know there's no connection. If you're talking about a genuine connection, sure, but it's not really fragile. Akitsu is literally slavishly loyal to someone that she is not even chemically compelled to be loyal to, simply because they said they wanted her.
Yep. I can only assume maybe he's trying to imply, like, it's one way from him to her, where he doesn't know if he could trust her or some shit, but I still don't.
But the problem there is the word usage again, which is what I'm harping on about. Their, plural. If it's his fragile connection grows, I'll be like, oh, okay, so it's talking about his perspective of their relationship. No, their fragile connection. Again, this is why I think it's written by AI, because I think, because obviously the AI wouldn't know anything about Sekirei, the plot of Sekirei. All he probably told the AI is write a summary for like a story in where a pharmaceutical company runs a secretive game where everyone who gets a Sekirei has to fight each other. And so the AI wrote the most generic slop summary possible. And but what shadows lie behind her powers? Nothing. There's no shadows behind her powers.
Yeah.
She blatantly just tells you she's a space alien.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. The only real secret of any consequence is they die.
Yeah.
That's it. It's got to be a lot of dead Sekirei by the end of this plan.
Yeah.
And that's a large reason why the oldest of them are like, hey, Minaka, fuck you. If I ever see you, you're dead on sight.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, right? It's, the only shadow that could really lie behind her powers is the fact that she is, a broken number. And, the shadow there is the insane feminist scientist who mutilated her in the name of feminism.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
Yeah.
Most unfortunate.
But yeah, so it's kind of like a case of again, it's not really a shadow because it's not like a looming secret or something. Ikitsu either doesn't know again, or will talk about it if you ask her, but she's not going to volunteer the information. Because obviously it's a very traumatic moment for her. Can they face it together before the cold closes in? Again, this is what makes me think AI, because cold closing in is a reference to Akitsu's ice powers, but that doesn't make any sense in the context because Akitsu's the only one with ice powers. So there wouldn't be a cold closing in because she is the cold. So yeah, this just reads completely as AI slop. The guy who put it in is retarded, obviously. And then on top of that, doesn't understand the section he's writing for, I guess. Let's see what his profile looks like. I do not take requests. Interesting. Oh, you can pay him.
Someone would request your dog shit.
Go ahead and mark off Patreon. Let's see. Oh, wow, Mr.
Sorry, it's just funny seeing I don't take requests and then asking for someone to buy them a coffee.
True. I really appreciate that he's put his Xbox, PSN, and Steam names on here as well.
Bro, what?
Yeah.
Oh, the olden days of internet where that was just included on the profile.
Yeah, it's just here's my other usernames. My name is John. I'm 30 years old. I live in the darkest depths of human imagination. My hobbies are writing. I have a personality where I'm great and awesome around the right people. My sex, yes. Favorite movies: Avatar, Back to the Future, Saw. I don't really like movies all that much. Listens to metal. Watches pro wrestling. Plays slop video games. Role models: George Carlin. Couldn't have figured that one out.
Woo! That's He's not a great person you want to be modeling yourself after there, kiddo.
Well, no, it's not even just that. It's just that he had a very nihilistic view of life.
Well, yeah, that's why this guy has the same worldview, you know?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it wasn't hard to figure that one out. My favorite animes: Monster Moo, Sekirei, Death Note, Oh My Goddess. Yeah, you're definitely 30 years old. Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely 30 years old. Oh my god, it's fucking Jesus Christ. Wow. Hey, look, this is Sign effectively. Damn, this is younger Sign. This is
come on, he hasn't produced nearly that many else yet.
I don't know. Top 5 favorite Sekirei: The Water Feminist, Cloth Girl, Claw Girl, Horny Girl, and Akitsu. That's like 4 L's. Twisted Wings. Wow, I can't. Wow. Yeah. Oh God. Raunchy, crude, erotic humor. Yeah. Oh, Sekirei cyberpunk crossover. Uh-huh.
Oh. Okay, well, first of all, it's already cyberpunk.
Also, the fucking corporations would kill them all.
Well, yes.
God of War Stanley Parable.
What? I'm sorry, what?
Is that a crossover there, right?
Yes.
Okay. This is an important qualifier.
Yeah.
Which God of War? because there's some good comedy value in original God of War trilogy, Kratos dealing with the narrator from Stanley's Parable.
I think it might be. I'm not really sure because it says that the summary is unable to give Kratos reprieve from visions of his sins. The gods bestow upon him a blessing and a curse and a bucket. So yeah, I guess this is some version of Kratos going through Stanley Parable.
That's gotta be the PS4. Then the 2016, 2018.
But it said gods, so wouldn't that imply the ones from the main trilogy? Or am I misrecalling the lore?
Well, when he says God, that's what I'm saying. Like, he says gods, and I'm like, I don't think the Norse gods would do anything. The Greek gods would be more likely to do something here.
Oh, I mean, Odin might. If this was written before. No, this wasn't written before Ragnarok. I don't know then, because there's two pantheons to pick from here. I don't.
I just feel like the Norse are just unlikely because they have very little reason to interact with him in general until shit starts going down. Whereas the active Greek one, I feel like they're more likely to do shit.
Well, yeah, no, they didn't really go messing with him until Baldur showed up. Like, I heard you're tough shit. And that spiraled into Ragnarok's kickstarting.
Like, I remember, what was it, Luffy had like a barrier around where they were living, so they weren't really noticed, but
I think that was part of it.
Boulder did know about Kratos, so...
Oh yeah, no, it's literally like, I heard you're tough shit. I want to fight you, because he's like, surely this foreigner from another land can make me feel pain, because he's not one of us.
Hey, Kratos, I heard your depression's really strong. I want to fight it.
Murdered.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Okay, looks like this is original trilogy Kratos. I'm looking around and I don't think this is gonna work out.
Yeah.
Cause it's from what I'm gleaning, the Greek gods are like, we're going to tether the narrator to you, and the author decided he was going to crank up the narrator's snarkiness by like 10, so it's basically not the narrator now.
Oh.
Oh, of course, obviously.
Okay, look, you can crank him to 10 after he's had to put up with Kratos' shit for a while. Like, well, someone here has to entertain the audience, and it's certainly not going to be your witty dialogue.
Yeah. Well, it get a point of like, with the heart piece dispatch, Kratos looked forward to comfortable silence, only to realize there would be no such thing. Like, the narrator's not an outright dickhead like this from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
very much.
I just saw the trailer for Pixar's new movie today. I can't believe they would put Vor in the trailer. That's crazy.
There's a new Pixar movie?
Apparently, it's got Vor.
What are you talking about, brother?
Oh, Zootopia.
Is it this Elio thing?
Wait, what?
No, I think it's a Zootopia trailer that came out today.
Oh, they're making another one, huh?
Movie?
That's terrible news. Yeah, that's terrible news. But yeah, so anyway, that's a fucking dog shit story idea. Holy shit. Circumventing the rules. Matsu's gonna have cyber sex to get around Mia's rules. Bro put a fucking Discord icon as the chapter cover.
Bruh.
So yeah, it's from something called Elio.
Oh.
That's... Oh.
That... Wow. I thought you were exaggerating. That is...
Yeah, I thought he was as well. That is,
Wow.
Oh, that thing.
I didn't need to know that existed.
That's straight up child lore. Wow. I'm actually stun locked.
Understandably.
I mean, I don't know how much of that you could consider to just be that and more. I don't know. I'm not going to argue with it. I'm not going to argue any point here. It's a bad idea. I was going to try and say, like, you know what? It's not like it's that bad. And I looked at it and I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to bother. Not going to fucking bother with shit.
Oh, good lord. They fucking did a
This is the story about the depressed boy picked as a representative of Earth. What do you mean as a representative? Oh.
What?
Stanley Hotel. The narrator goes to Has-Been Hotel. Why? Veil of Passion.
Fanfiction and this.
Yeah, honestly, Veil of Passion. AU, where Rizume, despite having a bond to Chio, also gets sexually attracted to Minato, and they fuck, and all of his Sekirei are angry about it. It's a 47-chapter, 280k word story, romance humor. Somehow I feel like there's very little humor in there, and it took you 12 years to write this?
What?
Wait, what? Oh, good lord. Oh, you're not wrong. I thought you were just exaggerating. No,
he's not.
Oh, I hate that. That just makes me cringe.
Sekirei Stanley Parable. Minato find themselves in the world of Stanley Parable. Man, bro can't let go of Stanley Parable. I'm sorry, it doesn't make for good fanfiction.
Bro played Stanley Parable once and determined it was the greatest fucking thing ever, and I don't know how to tell you, brother, but
it was okay. It just
it was entertaining for its time, but
yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? This is something I genuinely don't understand. This is something I've never been able to understand. Like, I can get a lot of thought processes behind a lot of things, but I just genuinely cannot map. Game comes out, you play game, you're now overcome with the urge to jam game into literally fucking everything. Everything now has to be about game. You like music? No, it's got to be music about the game. If you want to talk about music, you got to bring up music about the game. It's just like, look, if it's particularly good, like, if we're talking like Payday Razormind, I'll recommend Payday Razormind to someone. But I'm not gonna just talk about the fucking Payday OST in general.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try and jam that into every story or every song.
No. There are certain places where it's relevant, and there are certain places where it's not relevant.
Deadpool into Stanley Parable? You know what? That would actually work.
That
he just has a snark off with the narrator.
Listen, that works because you can have Deadpool start arguing with the narrator in the narrator box.
Even better,
Deadpool took the left door. What are you talking about? I took the right door.
No, even better. Wait a second. You're not my narrator. Get the fuck out.
I mean, you're not the normal. Oh, listen. What they should do is they should make it so that the narrator is a slightly more aggressive shade of yellow.
And so Deadpool
and be like, hey, wait a minute. You're not the correct shade of yellow.
Deadpool went left. No, he went right. No, I think Deadpool went up. What do you mean up? There's a hole in the ceiling.
Deadpool went up because you're not my narrator.
There's just like the other voice is just like, wait, who's the new guy? I think someone signed a new lease.
Listen. It's tough out there.
Yeah,
okay?
wait, no,
I gotta listen. I had to get a roommate. Gotta make
Phoenix brings up a great point. Just like how everyone tries to make real life events and geopolitics fit into Harry Potter and Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm unable to understand that level of obsession. Like, if something is good, I can get why you're like, oh, I want to talk about this to people. I totally get that. If something is fitting, like bringing up Tom Clancy games or Metal Gear games in relation to geopolitics and events happening in the world, totally understandable. But it's like, oh, this war that just kicked off between two countries in real life, it's just like Harry Potter fighting Voldemort. It's like, huh? Like, what the what? I just cannot grasp it. And it's the same thing for fanfiction, where it's like, oh, I just played Stanley Parable. I want to cross every game and media property I know of with Stanley Parable now. It's like, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It's not interesting or funny. It's like maybe funny as a one-shot, but like that's it. Like a 5K word one-shot, and then you fucking end it quickly because otherwise you're literally just rerunning the entire thing of Stanley Parable, except with commentary, which is just your average commentary fic, which is lame as fuck. You know, I don't. I can understand if you play Mass Effect and you're like, oh, Mass Effect versus Star Wars, because they're both space games. They both have cool ships. They both have, you know, hero characters. They both have villain characters. They both have, you know, big threats and giant ships and laser beams. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can totally understand why someone would be like, oh, I want to see Halo versus Mass Effect versus Star Wars versus 40K. It's like, okay, dumb, but I can get where they're coming from. But the people that are like, oh, I want to see Master Chief end up in Animal Crossing. Huh?
Well, if the Doomslayer can get into Animal Crossing, I guess anyone else can.
Well, the Doomslayer's a bit different. Bro deserves a break. He's only been killing since the dawn of the first universe. We're on Universe 4.
Listen, he can afford to take a break to train an apprentice to do some of the work for him.
We're on Universe 4. This isn't fucking Bungie games.
No, he's legitimately on Universe 4.
Yeah, he's actually on Universe 4.
Yeah.
The Earth he goes back to save in 2016 isn't his Earth.
Doomslayer is just built different.
Bro is built different.
Doom is based off Marathon?
I really, at this
question
point, Doomslayer is absolutely like, how do we break the power scale? Just open the curtain to reveal Doomslayer. Like,
behold the Bungie Slayer.
How do you get rid of chaos in Warhammer? Just throw Doomslayer in the Rift.
True.
Don't worry. It'll take a while, but guaranteed, chaos will be gone.
See, that's the thing. That's what I really like about Doom is that they keep themselves from scaling too hard by Doomslayer isn't the Doomslayer is the unstoppable force, but not in the way like One Punch Man is, right? Where he like, flicks his finger and a mountain crumbles. But Doomslayer is the unstoppable force in the way that he will just keep coming at you until you die. He's like,
and then of course you have Chaos fans going, "No, he would be part of Korn."
He's like the unstoppable force in the way like water is, right? Wears you down over time. Doesn't care.
Yeah. Chaos players thinking he'd be with Korn. No. Korn wishes he could get Doomslayer over to his side.
Well, that's because Korn players. That's because Chaos players are so like cope heavy.
Korn has now met the one being that can outstubborn him in a fight.
Oh, Korn meets the one being that he fears.
Goes real quick from, oh, this is fun, to, oh no, I'm actually losing. Real quick.
Finally, a worthy opponent.
Oh shit, wait, I'm losing. As we've seen in lore, Korn does not like losing.
Especially not to weird autistic men who quote military history at them for too many hours.
So, Gilliman?
No, brother, that was
history
Dorn.
of concrete. the military
of concrete.
Military history and applications of concrete.
That is hilarious.
Oh god.
Yeah, that might be my current favorite crossover joke I've seen. That I don't know if I linked to anyone. Some random Chaos Marine comes in. Abaddon, good news! I killed Doomslayer's new pet rabbit, and all 4 Chaos Gods are just like, you what?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no, it's like it. That's what makes the Doom games nice. Is it doesn't really matter what kind of monster they introduce. Every fight is literally you whittling away at them until they die, which is nice because it does make you feel like an unstoppable juggernaut, but at the same time doesn't introduce the Goku problem.
Yeah, I am the unstoppable juggernaut, but I still earned that kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't understand why people try and mash completely just incongruent series together just because they like them. It's like, oh, I like Harry Potter, therefore I'm gonna write 300 stories where I try and mash Harry Potter into everything, into Mass Effect, into Sekiro, into Doom, into Marvelous Ladybug, into, and don't get me wrong, some of them worked. Harry Potter into Sailor Moon Ranma was great.
That worked great.
Wait, what?
Violence inherent in the system. Yeah, it's a great story. That author in general just made bangers. But sometimes, don't get me wrong, it works great, but I also wouldn't have off the cuff dismissed Harry Potter, Sailor Moon, and Ranma. Because they're all relatively within the same power level, they're all relatively taking place during the same time period, they're not overlapping their lore or canceling anything out between each other too much. There's no egregious cancellations going on when you cross all 3 of those properties. Then you have stories like, Star Wars Animal Crossing, where Vader ends up on Animal Crossing Island and owes Tom Nook 40,000 leafs for his new house. And it's just like, huh? Why? it's like, oh, well, they've recently started playing Animal Crossing, and they're a longtime fan of Star Wars, so they were like, oh, I have to mash the two together now. Just, like, mindlessly, like a fucking chimp. You know what it is? It's the people that are like, oh, I like donuts. I also like to eat, steak, so I'm gonna put a steak on my donut.
Is there such a monster?
Probably.
Probably.
What can mankind do against such unrelenting hate?
I genuinely knew people like that, where they're like, oh, I like this flavor, and I like this flavor, so I'm going to put both flavors into the food, just not even thinking about how those flavors would interact, because I'm literally too stupid to model one step forward. And then I'll act shocked when it sucks. Ben 10 and Attack on Titan. True. Exactly. And let me mash the two in a crossover, despite the plot's, characters, tone, and other key parts of the writing being completely clashing. Wait, what do you mean Ben 10 aliens exist inherently solves the main conflict in Attack on Titans? True! Yeah. Exactly! Yeah, 100%, exactly. It's just, yeah, and that's the sort of shit that just, like, fucking baffles me, because it's like, oh, I'm gonna do a Mass Effect story where they crash land in Fire Emblem.
So I mean, okay, look. The only one where I'll accept that as an option is Fire Emblem Fates, and Shepard gets to select all the Renegade options to make Corrin's family stop being fucking stupid.
But like, you get my point, where like, or Fire, or you know, fucking Mass Effect finds the Zelda planet. It's like, okay, well, you know, Ganon, that's great and all. You're like Calamity and stuff, but have you considered orbital bombardment?
Liara looks over at giant demon pig Ganon. Warp.
Right, exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of just like, okay, yeah, guns introduced to medieval setting kind of trivializes everything. Guns with infinite ammo.
Well, no, here's the thing. Yeah, I was gonna say, a tiny railgun, yes. A regular gun, I'm pretty sure Pig Ganon's just gonna shrug that shit off.
Sure, certainly.
He'll show you like toughness magic. Also, cavalry.
Yeah, no, no, Cavalry kind of died out for a reason there, Bucko.
Sneaky, we've both played Total War.
Yes.
Knows, once you get beyond the point of repeating weapons, cavalry doesn't exist. Or do I need to direct you to the charge of the Light Brigade?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just do not understand this obsession with smashing Seki Ray and Stanley Parable. I don't get it. I'm gonna put Ben 10 into Gundam. What do you mean Ben 10's basically regulated to be nothing? I gotta rehash canon now.
Char looks at Ben 10 and questions why there's a child here.
Questions. It's like Saw and Sekirei, twisted wings, swept up but a small pawn in a larger game. Minato must face his nightmares alongside his rivals to try and earn them back or die trying. With their faith, love, and trust being put to the test, their journey brings them all closer. A reboot of my story, Saw and the Trials of Minato. You're really gonna try and convince me that the puppet somehow managed to kidnap superpowered girls and force them into trust fall tests.
Yes.
Like, huh?
Don't you see? In order for it to happen, himself had to have powers. He's super powered.
Obviously, yeah.
Or, no, I'm sorry. There is one other answer, and it's obvious. It's Minaka. It's fucking Minaka.
Obviously,
doing it for laughs.
Yeah, sure, but it just like Saw only works because everyone in Saw
it's stupid,
sucks.
and B.
Yeah, obviously, A, it's stupid.
Yes.
But the point in Saw is that all of the people in Saw aren't good people.
It's not bad things happening to good people. It's bad things happening to worse people.
Like, I forget what Saw it was, but like
all the way back, the original.
The very first one has bad things happen to good people. Every subsequent Saw figured out that if we have bad things happen to shitty people, everyone will like it.
Well, that's basically the whole mythos of fucking slasher movies. It's all like, hey, look at all these shitty college kids. We're killing them.
But I mean, yeah, I literally remember something like in Saw. I forget what Saw it was, but like they captured a cop at one point, and it's like, oh, the cop got captured. That's crazy. And then it's like, oh, you're a corrupt cop who like planted drugs. Now you have to do drugs or something like that to get the key to like unlock the gun pointed at your head or something. It's like, oh, okay. Sure.
I mean, it's still not, justified, but,
Yeah, it's like, whatever, but, I'm not saying it was justified. I'm just saying it was like, oh, okay. But point being is that it's like, it's not supposed to be, you're not really supposed to be rooting for the people, really, in Saw. Like, it's, you watch Saw of more of a morbid fascination for how the puzzle goes down, rather than for the triumphing, redeeming moment where the hero at last second manages to overcome their character traits and free themselves, beating the puppet. Like, that's kind of the point, is the puppet always wins.
And he always crams in some ham-fisted, completely irrelevant message about life or some shit.
Yeah.
You see, life is like sucking down the last piece of heroin.
Man,
I didn't think
Robot Chicken went so fucking hard on Saw. they had so many Saw jokes, and they just made the puppet just say the most fucking obnoxious shit, where it's like all nose quotes.
Oi.
Hey.
Oh, God. Hey, Sign, you can't say that I only target you. I'm an equal opportunity targeter.
Apparently.
But, yeah, so anyway, to no one's surprise, the Sekirei section is, if we scroll through this real quickly, Yuri harem, cross-posted to AO3 harem, basically rehash of canon, basically rehash of canon harem. No, I can't complain about Sekirei having harems. However, I will complain about how it's just performed. Because I realize that Minato is a literal marshmallow with a smiley face drawn on it in terms of mental and physical capabilities and emotional width. But that doesn't really stop me from insulting the authors who are going out here and saying, oh, I'm going to write Sekirei but better, except actually we're just going to do the harem again, and the harem is going to be acquired effectively the same way as Minato, and nothing's actually really going to change because I'm completely an unoriginal hack. But I'm definitely better than Minato because I, unlike Minato, had sex in the story, not in real life.
Of course, you've got to clarify there.
Yeah. After losing the fight on the bridge, she caps Minato as bait, breaks her humiliator's heart instead of her body. However, she fails to reckon just how deprived she is by the lack of love, by her very homosexual Ashikabi. Things get out of hand, escalate further when Kazehana, so Minato times Bennett times Kazehana, of course. Like, this is what I'm saying, like, this is, like, really cringe. Oh, she kidnaps him, but while she's kidnapping him, she realizes that she really wants to be dicked down, so the tables turn. Because he had a dick.
Yeah, that's just Sekirei.
Yeah, like, I hate to say it, that is just pretty much Sekirei.
Yes.
I mean, Minato winning simply because he has a penis, I mean, yeah, that's fair. Doesn't make it, like, a better story.
Well,
doesn't make it interesting, it's just...
Yeah, it doesn't make it interesting, yeah.
No, it's because he is a latent psychic who has more psychic juice than anybody else around him because of all the other girls he's already with.
Right, but the issue with the whole psychic juice thing is that they effectively canonize the fact that once someone gets winged, that's kind of it. You don't react to anyone else. Like, that's kind of the end of the line. Yeah. So why would a character who's already winged be reacting to Minato? Because the author's hand-waving him, and he just wants them to fuck. Exactly. Point. So this is what I'm saying.
No.
The old-fashioned way, for prehistoric Sekirei, you need to fuck them to make them winged. Now, Minato, a one-time failed college student, takes a sabbatical. One crash land later, Minato's on his course to wing Musabi the old-fashioned way with some bribery. Huh?
What?
Oh?
Yeah, Minato times rare pairings. So literally, this story is quite literally only here, so Minato can get paired with some of the Sekirei you don't see normally. That's the only purpose of the story.
That sounds fucking dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing for this one. Same thing for this one. Wow, Seer King is still here. When did he update? Oh, he updated 5 months ago. The Sekirei section's so fucking dead. Holy shit.
Sekirei is just way past its prime.
I mean, like I said, it never really had a fan base. It never really was a big hit. I'm not surprised that it's dead. I mean, is there more crossovers? No, there's not more crossovers. Like, the Sekirei section's always been really dead. It was never a good story. Like, it was a mediocre idea with mediocre characters, mediocre plot. Literally nothing special when it came out. Nothing special after it came out. So... The Snow Ashikabi. What if the adjuster from MBI had become an Ashikabi? What if this adjuster somehow saved Akitsu from being scrapped and became her Ashikabi? What do you mean, what if an adjuster, like, I mean, that's basically, the whole thing with the adjusters is they were specifically people that they knew couldn't trigger. That's why they had them working in close quarters with the Sekirei because they specifically were people who couldn't trigger the Sekirei. Okay. What if she? Oh, of course! Of course it's Yuri! Why not? This is the story of, Seiya Shigaraki, the Snow Ashikabi times a giant female harem, featuring characters like Matsu. Of course, why not? Obviously. Why wouldn't it all just evolve into Yuri? I'm going to put all of my disclaimers here in my author profile so I don't have to put them in my stories. I don't own anything. Oh.
Okay.
That's not how that works, but okay. The Pokegirls system. Gamer system Pokegirls crossover with One Piece. Lots of sex.
No. Oh no.
DXD Vengeance. Random OC who is female did the unthinkable. She fell in love with Angel. And then the stuff happened, and then she was enslaved for her crime. Years later, Issei appears as heir of clan, and he has goal revenge. Oh, I think we covered this story before.
So we did. We definitely did.
Yeah, we definitely have covered that story before. Yeah. Damn, this one doesn't even have any dialogue in it. Sorry, fucking punctuation in it. Damn, this dude's fucking dog shit. Yeah, we've covered this dude before. He's fucking dog shit. Chapter 1 is a copy of episode run. I wrote myself. Wow. My name is Mizor, aka Death Reaper. And this is my story in Sword Art Online. PKers must be stopped at all costs. Even if I have to become a murderer to do it. Okay, I am Haseo. Death, I am Reaper.
Okay, Haseo, calm down. You're in the wrong game.
Oh, 19 chapters, 19 favorites.
Good lord.
Agent the author is arguing in the reviews with one of his reviewers for calling him out for using a harvesting scythe as a weapon. Because apparently the author is apparently coping really hard. Yeah, don't read. The author's coping really hard because someone called him out for using a harvesting scythe. So a harvesting scythe is that really windy scythe that you see that you swing to harvest wheat with.
Oh.
Yep, the one that has.
I saw the guy's post.
Yeah.
I saw
the one that has handles built perpendicular to the haft. Yeah.
Yeah. Did that guy get mad just because he said use a scythe suck?
Yeah. So his original review is lol scythe suck. Use a spear you twit.
And that set him off. Amazing.
And then he's like, if you don't like my weapon choice, then choice is obvious. Don't read story. And then he responds with yes, because Alexander the Great is famous for conquering the world with his scythe phalanxes. Reaper uses scythes to gather wheat, signaling the passing of time. He didn't chop people's heads off with it. The Reaper is actually even shown in some depictions as using a sword. Don't try and justify using a scythe to be a Reaper.
Honestly, I could... if you want to get for Ruby, I guess, where it's, fancy weapons and whatnot can work, I guess.
No, it's fucking retarded in Ruby, too.
Fair enough.
No,
I think it's fancy bullshit.
Here's the problem with Ruby. I'll always go back to it. If you have an ability that gives you, we're just gonna flatten it and we're just gonna slap a number on it. If you have an ability that makes your weapon deal 100% more damage, why would you choose a weapon that does 1 damage?
Fair enough.
Because it looks cool.
That is cool.
The fucking workout you'd get from doing that once a week.
Oh, you get fucking,
shit,
totally jacked, yeah.
Okay, that's kind of rad.
My favorite part is that I don't see the cut pattern where it's already been cut. I can only see the cut pattern because she can't do that wide of a swath.
Yeah.
Unlike a lawnmower where it leaves a clear cut pattern and people like to do rows or sometimes checkerboards.
Using a scythe adds extra chances your weapons can be damaged and broken. Yeah, no. So, like, the whole thing with scythes is war scythes existed. War scythes were effectively peasant weapons that were sharpened on the other side initially. And they just kind of flipped the blade around.
And a reminder, Ruby's scythe has a war scythe.
Had a war scythe mode, but
only was used in the red trailer.
The war scythe is effectively the prequel to a glaive, and glaives were broken. Glaives were totally broken in war. Glaives were glaives were so fucking broken, dude. Halberds, glaives, that whole family of spear plus more is just so fucking broken because of how physics work.
Huh. Neat. Did not know that. I knew they were dangerous. I didn't know that they were that good.
I mean, at the end of the day, nothing's ever gonna beat longer stick.
Yes.
But the utility of a halberd is unfucking matched.
Yeah, because the thing is, when it comes to physics, because of the fulcrum physics that go into putting it was effectively an axe that was on a really long stick. And because of the really long stick nature of the axe swing, you are effectively using Earth's gravity to make your swing stronger.
Yeah. So,
and it was really broken. It required a lot of training, though.
The halberd had the cutting power of an axe with the stabbing potential of a spear, as well as there's a whole other side here where you can stick a spiked warhammer head or just a spike on.
And not only that,
and traditionally they're made with all metal.
Yeah, well, no, not all metal. Metal plated. The halberd core itself was usually wood, but the upper half of the shaft was usually metal plated, both for reinforcement of the shaft and also for, you can go ahead and look up.
But the shafts were
but
usually all metal as well.
The head itself was all metal.
Oh, obviously the head itself is all metal. I'm saying.
I'm referring to the entire weapon. Like, usually you saw some of the.
No, that's way too heavy.
No, it's way too heavy.
The halberds didn't
the,
get that long in length.
Yeah, they did.
The fuck they didn't. You've heard of the 20-foot ones they used for anti-cavalry, right? They discovered this sheet.
I've heard of the 20-foot. I've heard of the 20-foot swords and the 20-foot spears, but not the 20-foot halberds.
Yeah, so here you go. You can see here, wood. And some of them, the shaft is riveted with sheet metal to both strengthen the halberd and also offer an area where the sword swings could be deflected from.
so they couldn't just, chop it in half.
Yeah. An all-metal shaft would be hilariously expensive in metal costs, and on top of that, weight would be insane.
I mean, you could do it today with modern equipment, with like rolled steel or something, and have it not be insanely heavy.
Well, it also wouldn't be insanely expensive, but I mean, also at the same time, the thing is though, right? It's like Guts' sword. Can we make Guts' sword today? Yes.
Yeah.
Would you take that into battle, even if everyone else was also only using melee? No, you wouldn't take it into battle, because the reason why you wouldn't take Guts' sword into battle, even though it could be manufactured and used in combat, is you need to keep in mind that a battle could last hours. And you need to be using a weapon that you'll be able to use for hours. And
wasn't the whole point that the sword was completely, like, unusable to anyone but Guts?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was part of it, I think.
Yeah,
I haven't read Berserk because I don't want to deal with the existential crisis that will inevitably bring with it.
Fair.
I will also retract my statement about halberds on the all-metal bit.
To be clear, they did have a significant metal portion.
Yeah, well, it's just the problem is that at the end of the day, nothing beats simple spear. Because it's easier to make a 25-foot spear than a 20-foot halberd.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and then on top of that, you have the extra weight cost, because, I mean, again, the whole thing with the halberd is the heavy part is at the end, and if you have a 20-foot halberd, then you're fighting physics again. Like, the same physics that make a halberd strike destructive is the same physics you have to fight to maintain the halberd in ready position.
So
when they were using them as anti-cavalry, they had a prop.
No, but they didn't use halberds exclusively.
Oh no, those are horse spike spears, dude. Those aren't like halberds.
Okay, Max had it correct. The best thing is 20-foot spear, and we had a word for that, and it was called a pike.
Yes.
The reason that every peasant levy and its mother from Britain, France, Germany, whatever, used pikes was because I don't have to train the peasant very well.
Rome.
No, Rome did not use pikes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they used pikes.
No, they didn't. They did not do phalanxes.
The Romans used small spears or javelins.
Right? Yeah.
Use pikes.
It was they did the tetsubas. Pylums and tetsudas. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the tetsudo was just them interlocking the shields, but yeah, they didn't use pikes.
Right, but I'd say that they didn't use a phalanx; they used a tetsuda.
Yeah. But yeah, like Macedonia and Greece made the pike, and
that shit got out of hand for a while.
Yeah, but they used the pike for a long ass time because even when we got to the point with guns, the standard, to be clear, before we got to repeating weapons, pretty much everyone, whether they were Ottoman, German, whatever, they all had the same army formation, which was pike, shot, horse. You had a bunch of musketeers with a bunch of pikemen around them to make sure that the enemy's cavalry stayed the fuck away. Meanwhile, cavalry evolved to go from armored knights to dragoons.
Yeah.
Which was a bunch of dudes on horses with guns that had swords. And if you if your drive-by was successful enough, then you would wheel your horse around and drive into that gap with your sword and start laying about. Because you could no longer get away with the glorious charge of the Light Brigade, because holy fuck, you're gonna die on pikes.
Yep.
If you can even convince your horse to fucking charge them in the first place.
Which, I mean, Warhorse usually could. It just,
even war horses were relatively even when they were trained, like you had to have an exceptionally well trained horse to go straight at a pike blob.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, so let's get back to making fun of this author. First off, we come with prologue and immediately dump into OC being all death and stuff. Did you really make a character who dresses all in black, says edgy and cheesy one-liners, and has a pointless title that it's overused? Wait, did I describe your OC or Kirito?
Damn. You think you're funny.
I mean, it kind of was.
I mean, a little bit, but.
But I mean, yeah, it's just I dislike scythes being used in general. If you're in a setting like D&D, sure, yeah, why not? D&D kind of get away with it because you can have like some sort of like enchanted mithril scythe of bloodletting that was enchanted by some crazy ass wizard who, you know,
or a god,
or a god because they thought it was funny, or was a farming god or something. And you know, it's a farming scythe, but it's made out of some higher than steel metal, and it's got special magic on it that lets it do special shit. It's like, okay, fine, then you can use a scythe. I get it.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, I'm in a life and death battle, the weapon I choose is going to decide my fate, I'm going to use a farming scythe.
Brother, if I, the human being Atin right now was told I had to go into a life or death battle and I get to pick one medieval weapon, spear. I'm picking the spear.
Yeah.
Spear.
Yeah.
Every time. Not a sword, a spear.
Yeah, sword's kind of hard, actually. But yeah,
it's
no.
not that the sword's hard, it's that the spear is super easy and has reach and penetration.
And two things that I know you have trouble with.
I had a similar thought. God damn it, Sneaky.
Oh. You okay over there, Stein?
Why would he be?
I'm just checking.
Stein put down a rake and then stepped on it.
Oh.
No, or it's more like Stein baked a pie and I asked him how it smelled.
Disintegrate.
Listen. At least we can always say this about Stein. Man knows how to take a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how we can tell the difference between him and full Paragon.
True. No, hang on. Better quality writing. Come on now.
What do you mean? I can't tell the difference. No, I'm just kidding. He's actually gotten way better.
Yeah.
Sign, not full Paragon, just to be clear.
Oh god, yeah,
no. But anyway. Furthermore, I've seen a few OC stories that had the same weapon for the main character, and I always address the same thing. Yeah. Scythes have the poorest reach of all polearms, doing to be arc-shaped blades, yep. In order to hit an opponent, you have to be between you and the blade, which is not good. Even with the blade, its slashing ability is mediocre, true. You can't stab with it, true. Not to mention how fucking long and cumbersome it is, true. Hell, you can't even parry with it, yes. I used to think it was really cool to use a scythe when I was a kid, but not anymore. From a realistic perspective, it's improper to use in combat. You really just dumped the whole Kayaba death game exposition moment in there, huh? Other than that, I don't know where this will go. Good luck, I guess. And yeah, that's kind of basically my opinion, right? It's just like, when I was a kid, I thought scythes were cool. Everyone did, right? Hell,
well, yeah.
Even the scythes in Soul Eater, the one that Maka uses, that's a more functional scythe than the scythe that gets paraded around.
Maka's scythe is closer to a war scythe than not. Like, it's not quite a war scythe, but...
No, I mean, it's very clearly not a war scythe at all. It is still very clearly just a scythe, but they've removed the farming bend from it and the sideways grip. Which, don't get me wrong, massively improves the combat potential of it, but it doesn't get rid of the massive combat negative, which is the fact that to hit someone with the inside of the scythe blade, they have to be between you and your scythe blade, which is not a position you want someone to be in when you're fighting them. And I mean, effectively, it's the same. You are effectively using a mining pick on a really long pole. And that's not a great weapon.
No.
Shockingly.
Well, no. A mining pick would be a great weapon for one explicit purpose.
Yes. Yeah.
Armor.
True. Yeah.
Well, if you hit somebody in plate with that, he is gone.
Just having a fucking fucking can opener doesn't mean it's a great weapon.
But, like, here's the thing. I can do better with a hammer. And I don't mean some two-handed, doesn't exist, piece of shit, bullshit warhammer. I mean what is functionally speaking a ball-peen hammer, and you bonk a motherfucker with it.
Very true. Ball-peen hammer, number one.
Well, mauls did exist, which were basically hammers.
Not even slightly. No. Warhammer. No, Warhammers literally existed, and it was effectively a ball-peen hammer on a long stick.
I understand that he was saying like the two-headed hammer that doesn't exist. I was saying that's basically a maul.
No, but mauls didn't get used in combat largely.
This is somewhat pedantic.
The two-headed.
Yeah.
The two-headed hammer was. It looks like. Except instead of a claw head on the end, it had a pointy pike.
Well, so here's the problem: is a medieval maul is a warhammer, and it is what Atin is saying. It's effectively I mean, obviously variations exist.
Hammer.
It's effectively a ball-peen hammer. Sometimes you put on the back of it a stabby bit.
A spike.
But,
it's a fucking claw hammer. Except, with a stabber on the end.
Sometimes it's a little bit bigger. Sometimes it's just a claw hammer. Yeah. So it's quite literally like it. What Atin is saying is that I mean, let's just use Skyrim as a Skyrim hammer.
Yeah, the Skyrim hammer didn't get used in combat. Maybe every once in a while. But not really.
You know,
you wanted that head as light as possible to make as many swings as fast as possible.
Like that didn't exist. Like that's the D&D hammer of non-existing.
Yeah, it was right. It's the thing that Sneaky linked.
Ironically, the steel hammer from Skyrim is ironically actually really close to being a maul. So this is the steel hammer from Skyrim. What would be better is actually, you know what, let's do the Oblivion glass hammer. So I know that one's excessive. It gives me the battle axe. Also a weapon that didn't exist, to be clear. Here we go.
To be clear, there were small axes that were used in war. Like, right, the Skyrim steel hammer is relatively close to. They basically took an actual war hammer and massively upsized it because, like, what I just linked, right? That is an actual, not quite from the medieval era, right? But that is an actual
Warhammer
physical
style.
Warhammer. That's what they looked like.
Yeah.
Now we can make them slightly better today because we can you can make a much more efficient design because you can make basically a hammer where the tip is it's just 4 small squares that slightly stick out from each other because that's way more efficient. And we've got things like carbon fiber handles to make it light. And we can do things like make
waterproof.
Waterproof, and we can do things like make spikes that are however many millionths of a millimeter thick you can get with a fucking laser, and then use a robotic grinder to get that shit as small and pointy as possible, right? We can't get down to nanometer thickness because we're not in Star Wars or whatever yet, but you can get that shit damn sharp. And so yeah, you can make a better Warhammer today, but it's still going to look pretty much like that.
Yeah, physics be wildin'.
Physics indeed be wildin'.
But yeah, it's just scythes. Everything but the war scythe configuration for a scythe, it's effectively just why are you using this? Again, if you have some sort of fantasy reason for using it, ball out. But pretty much in every other scenario, it's kind of just like, especially if you are doing generic MMO story and your character's just in an MMO and that's it. There's no death game going on. You don't die in real life. You're not like trapped there somehow or whatever reason. Like even if you die in the game, you don't die in real life still, but you're trapped somehow. Like if the story is like One Half Prince, right, where it's just about you, or I put all my points in defense. It's just about
Bofuri, yeah.
You playing an MMO. That's it. That's the whole story. Is just you playing an MMO and going on adventures. Use a scythe. I don't care. It's whatever, right? You got game mechanics backing you. You got fantasy stuff backing you. There's no penalty in real life to you dying. It's whatever. But if I am in a death game, even if that death game is an MMO, if I am in a death game, I'm not using a suboptimal object to defend my life. That's not happening.
No.
Oh, yes, well, you see, I know I'm in a death game, but the game mechanics technically say unarmed damage is possible, so I'm gonna no-hit run unarmed damage the bosses. No.
No. Now, see, if unarmed damage also lets you do damage outside of combat, then we can talk.
Listen, that'd be like me getting... Sneaky, you as a human being have been dumped into oblivion. Are you going to go for the fucking unarmed build, or are you gonna fucking go for stealth archer backstabbing McAsshole?
Magic, obviously, because, I mean, unless if we're talking about game mechanics, then still magic. If we're talking about just straight up, I'm in Elder Scrolls now, magic. Magic always wins.
Counterpoint, I am a Breton and I have obtained a mundane ring. Magic isn't real.
That's true.
Magic
there's a fairly good point.
Magic isn't real, nerd.
However, I will also counter with, in a non-video game setting, I really doubt you would ever be able to fully be resistant to magic. And even if you are, you're not resistant to not breathing anymore because a rock is sitting on your lungs. So
I would say that part is true.
You'll burn eventually.
Here's the thing, right? We saw that, right? Not mechanics, right? We saw in the trailer for the Breton Green Knight, right?
Yeah.
He may not have been 100% resistant to magic, but he was probably somewhere around 85 to 90%. Just, that's a huge spell.
Interesting spells. However, I cast Fist.
Yes. But yeah, no, I mean, in general, I honestly, I think a lot of mages, obviously, in Elder Scrolls are heavily limited by the fact that they were born in Elder Scrolls, and therefore culturally grow up in an environment with pre-structured understanding of how spells work in Elder Scrolls. meta knowledge wise, spells don't really have a limit on what they can do.
Yeah.
There's no actual limit. It's just a limit of how dangerous do you want things to get?
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls magic. So here's the thing, right? Is like unlike oh, this world's got mana in it. Elder Scrolls magic. It's not even god juice. It's literally
entropy juice.
No, it's not even. It's actually the opposite of entropy juice. It's literally raw creation energy.
Oh yeah, it's raw creation. That's it.
Yeah, I remember you said like all the stars are just gates to the divine realm or something.
No, they're not gates. They are holes torn in the created realm when the gods realized that to create a Tamriel, they would need to tie themselves physically to that section of the universe. So they all abandoned reality by punching a hole through it and escaping back into the creation sea.
Damn.
And those gaping holes are the stars and the sun.
Well, that's
the sun's a giant hole in reality.
Okay,
that's
hilarious.
Okay,
all I can tell you is this: the more you learn about the Elder Scrolls, the stupider its lore is, because the further back you go into the Elder Scrolls, the closer and closer you get to one excessively coked out, shroomed up white boy who spent, what was it, a week and a half straight tripping his fucking balls off.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, the closer you get to
and I want to be clear, none of what I just said is facetious or an exaggeration.
Oh,
yeah,
we know. We've heard the
he did all the drugs.
We know.
He did all the drugs. But yeah, no. So I mean, it like the Necromancer moon, for example, is correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the correct one I'm about to say. The Necromancer moon didn't exist.
Wait,
until it did.
Necromancer moon?
Yeah, so the Necromancer moon is a comet. Now, you might be saying, Sneaky, what do you mean? Comets exist. Yeah, not in Elder Scrolls, because again, you gotta keep in mind, space isn't real in Elder Scrolls. So comets and asteroids don't exist. Well, it is, but it's not space. It's space between stuff. So comets and asteroids don't exist. There isn't an asteroid belt. There isn't like other space debris. The local realm is the universe. Like, so there isn't cosmic debris as in our space, so there isn't asteroids. And so basically, and the planets, by the way, are gods. The other planets in the solar system are the other gods.
Mm.
The ones that stayed.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. That's why the planet is called Julianos, because that's literally Julianos.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, so anyway, the Necromancer's moon is a asteroid that circles Tamriel, and it is manifested by Manamarco gaining a walking way status and manifesting himself into the moon.
Bro manifested so hard he became the moon.
Yeah. So that's how he became immortal, because he's technically not a person anymore. He's a moon. And moons can't die, so he can't die.
Moons aren't real, idiot.
The moon's haunted.
God fucking damn it.
No,
but yeah,
I've come back from the moon to let you know.
It's such a crime that was taken down and it can't be recovered.
I know, it's so sad.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the original Moon's Haunted clip got claimed by the people who owned that music. So the clip still exists, but the music is gone. So it's just silence for like 3 minutes, and it's kind of really sad.
Honestly, the guy left it up as a protest, which is great, but...
Yeah.
YouTube, how can I kill all copyright?
But as far as also I remember, the whole thing with the Necromancer's moon is that it's not a earthoid body. It's quite literally a moon made of corpses and blood.
Metal.
That checks out.
Because Manamarco Necromancer Moon, that whole,
Yeah.
shindig.
Yep.
Is that metal? Unfortunately,
listen,
yeah,
all I can say is this. I would love to end up in the Elder Scrolls and just be like, I have created a new spell. Railgun.
True.
Mages Guild has now banned. Mages Guild
Hey,
has banned
Molag Ball. Railgun.
The Mages Guild has banned your spell. I'm sorry, Ian.
That's
I'm
okay.
about to add
I
physics.
cast Railgun at the Mages
ban it
Guild.
all they like.
No, just start spinning it,
There you
clearly.
Dear Mages Guild.
To whom may concern.
But I mean, yeah.
Dear
See,
Good
the
Square.
interesting thing about being trapped in Elder Scrolls is, if you're aware that you isekai'd into Elder Scrolls, that means you're actually halfway to achieving Chim.
Yes.
I was about to say, you could just achieve Chim, open the console, and fuck off.
Well, yes, but no.
Okay, Chim doesn't work like that. That is
So
that is the meme of Chim, but Chim
the
is actually
issue.
more like...
Well, no. So the issue with Chim is that you have to first wake up from the dream, which
but
is
not fully wake up. You've gotta.
no. You gotta fully wake
lucid
up from the dream. No. You gotta fully wake up from the dream that is reality.
Yeah.
Which tends to kill people.
But
so
if you're already an isekai, you recognize that reality is, at best, a suggestion.
Yeah. So then you have to make your way to the Godhead, which, if I don't know how you get there, and there's usually a way of walking, so so you make your way to the Godhead, then you carve your name onto the Godhead. The part where you carve your name onto the Godhead is important because it's effectively making the Godhead recognize you as a permanent character in the world. And once you do that, you either null value because your ego wasn't able to sustain itself, or you achieve Chim and now you're a walking dreamer.
Yeah, it's very stupid.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't get me wrong. It's interesting, but I do think I prefer Pathfinder's version of becoming a god, which is go take this fuck-ass hard test, pass it, and you're god.
True. But anyway, yeah, so I hate Scythes, I hate this character, I hate this author. This author's massively butthurt over people not liking his story. Is he still responding? No, he was only responding to reviews in 2016.
Amazing.
Yeah, wow. He opens up the story with "Death has come for you, PKer. Forgive him, Kami-sama. May he find peace." And he capitalized Scythe.
That's turbo cringe.
That's the opening line.
That is like turbo cringe and turbo edge all in the same delivery. Jesus fuck.
Oh, wow. Anyway, so yeah, unlike other streams, we're actually ending this one on a bewilderment note, not a depression note. So, oh boy, hold on. Phoenix might just change that. Just saw this.
No, I gotta get
themselves.
food.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about that afterwards. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that one on here. Anyway, we'll see you on Friday, because there is always